day 7 of the Mastery course for Eclipse preparation. If you missed any of the other days, click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance. It'll take you to my YouTube page where all of the other lives, the other days of these Mastery courses shall be present for free. This is day 7. I know everyone that has been here for these 7 days, peace and love, peace unto you, Kai. I know everyone that's been here for these 7 days has been, very, very grateful. We performed miracles on camera. So much light has been present. We're live. It started glitching, messing up, and then we willed it back together. We talked about how to embody Christ consciousness literally yesterday. That was day 6. Now we're on day 7. I have a special live for y'all, 9 o'clock. Maybe a little later. We'll see what's going on with that. But right now, Mastery Course for Eclipse Preparation is very, very important. Source, A.K.A. God, has given us a lot. We've been through much. Because yesterday, my brothers and I had a show. And today, there's a show where I'm performing. But yesterday, me and my brothers had a show. And essentially, I had to guide one of my brothers. And this is a message for all of you, just as it is for me and my brothers. Yesterday, one of my brothers that were to perform at the show, while I was DJing and working the sound, he felt very unsure of himself. So God sent me to go into his realm and essentially be a personal doula for him to be birthed in this new life. So find where your doulas are, spiritually speaking, for us to be birthed into this new life. Because as we enter this new life, this new age, this new earth, as they say, it's new. It's going to be something that we haven't experienced as of yet. So it's going to be like very, very, like that type of energy. So it's very, very important for us to come together and realize that this birthing process shall be fun. Yes, it shall be fun. It shall be pure. It shall be in love of love. Remember, this is day 7 of the Mastery Course for Eclipse Preparation, the last day. All right? It's a shadow, not a birth or a changing on earth. It is a birth. For what is an eclipse? We're very grateful that you asked that question, Guitar, because it reels in to the statements that Source is channeling through, which is an eclipse simply is shining and shedding light on something differently. So as it pertains to the symbolic eyes, because even as natives, because I'm Sikh, even as natives, what the elders would say is look at everything through the eyes of symbolism. If Father Sky and what's in the sky, the as aboves, present itself in such a way, know that it shall happen in our immediate reality, as above, so below. So the eclipse simply is shining and shedding light on something differently. Well, that's the as above. The so below is your life will be shined upon differently. Things will be highlighted in your life that wasn't necessarily highlighted before. Look around. This is a worldwide thing. Hollywood is crumbling. Beings in Hollywood that thought they could never be, touched is now getting caught up. People that thought they could never reach a particular point in their lives and go past the obstacles that once presented themselves is now moving those obstacles out of the way. Our lives are changing before our eyes. Our life is changing before our eyes. The world around you. And extremely, extremely, extremely important. So for day 7, let's bring forth some awareness and memory of what's in this now for this day, the last day. We're going to do recap of everything. Because remember, this is a course. Exactly. God told me we are limitless. Exactly, Wolfkai. A recap of everything. We're going to do a lot of cities. Cities mean ancient gifts, not worldwide. We're going to do a lot of cities today. A lot of anchoring the light, a lot of group meditations, a lot of prayer. I may be on this live for the longest today, because we're going to be holding space, because tomorrow, the day of the eclipse, we are not going to go live because we're going to be holding space. What serves for you is to integrate the 7 days. If you missed any of the days that we presented, we as in me and you, for we are one. This is not just a master presenting the light. This is an aspect of yourself that's constructing a reality that serves for all who is in existence. Click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance to watch the 6 days that you missed, and today will also be posted there as well. So, today is going to be very collaborative. It's going to be very powerful. If you want to learn how to do miracles, if you want to learn how to stop learning and start remembering, perfect. You're in the right place. If you understand that it serves to be around a spirit family, peace unto you. If you understand that it serves to be integrated within your spiritual lineage, right now is the now. Right now is the now. The now for all of these things to present themselves in such a way that serves for you. All right. If you're ready for the last live regarding this mastery course, this is essentially like our graduation. If you're ready, type 33s in the chat. If you are ready for this live to learn about how to remember, to be in this now, to perform miracles, to be in that which is Christ consciousness, A.K.A. God's will embodied, to learn or remember how to channel, to understand why things happen in regards to the world, in regards to the eclipse, understanding how all of these things align with you and how to apply this naturally with tangible, facets. Type 33s in the chat if you're really, really prepared for this. Because today is extremely powerful. We're not playing no games. We're going to see how true you're being with yourself. We're going to see how true you're still being with yourself. For today is going to be the longest live. See, Source has prepared us in such a way that says, listen, we've been nudging you. The law of the guides has been nudging you in a particular direction. Love more. Be more of peace. Argue not with your brothers, with your sisters. Argue not with yourself. Anything that you put forth in this world, you will receive it. The divine law is what you see is what you are. So Source has been nudging us, but now it's like, listen. Exactly. If you're not ready now, you're not going to be, period. It's a make a decision. And that's what yesterday was all about. And we're going to be introducing a lot of stories because a lot of things has been happening. There, even tonight, last night, yesterday, a lot of things was happening. So we're going to be telling you these stories, these very spiritual experiences. And it's all able to be applied to your life. So quick recap, everybody. Quick recap. Peace unto you. My name is Nadiie. Remember, this is for the mastery course for eclipse preparation. Why are we preparing for the eclipse? Well, listen, I am Siksika. That means Blackfoot. We're Native American. And the eyes of the natives, we would see things in the most symbolic way. I am a medicine man in our tribe. When we astral project and go into the realms of spirit, we went through many, many ceremonies and they guided me to anchoring what it is to be a medicine man. So a medicine man, essentially, for those who don't know, is one of the highest honors you can have. One of these higher honors that you are able to integrate within a particular tribe. The medicine man is essentially like a doctor, a counselor, a philosopher, and a pastor all in one. And is able to provide that which is spiritual nutrition for its people. So as one who is in alignment with that which is the symbolism of life, as are you, for we are one. Understand that the reason why we're preparing for an eclipse is because simply an eclipse shines and shed lights on things differently. So as above, so below. So shall our life be different. Because now we must ask ourselves, has our life truly been supportive of this idea that we are all there is? Truly be honest with yourself. Is my life actually supporting this idea for me? Is this life supporting this idea for me? Most of the time we would say no. How are we able to come up to that conclusion, that answer, Nadiie? Well, listen, if you aren't totally feeling like you are the Christ, totally feeling like you aren't of this world, totally feeling like you don't have to worry about anything, or if you are essentially still having doubts, fears, if you haven't transcended, if you understand that this world is just an illusion, then you're on the right path. But for everything else, if you're still allowing this world to drag you down, if you're still allowing a judgment, if you're still allowing, pains and hurts to drag you down, then this world is not serving for you. See, right now, we must focus on love, judging not each other. Right now, we must focus on forgiveness, forgiving self and then forgiving others. Right now, it's about holding space. Remember that we're all collectively in alignment with all there is. And with that, we must know when you see others that, feel like they're lost, or feel like they don't know what's going on, or feel like there's not that much opportunities for them, you show up for them. Now's the time you judge not and you show up for people. You show up as Source has us show up within these, what you would consider teachings. So let's do a quick recap. Everything aligns with numerology. Everything aligns with what the stars is, spirituality, the new perspectives. Everything aligns with all points of spirituality. See, Source leaves nothing off the table. Bro needs mods. Source is my mod. Source is my mod. See, right now, it's not about appointing or, retiring. What we must anchor is, if there are beings that are being nefarious or bringing forth judgments and hates, first we must understand that those beings are aspects of ourselves. Secondly, we must understand that the hate that they give, the judgment that they give, is all the perspectives and ideologies they have for self. So there's no need to fret. And we must see past their flesh. Anyone that throws forth hates and judgments but are still in the live, see past their flesh. Their soul guided them to be here. I don't care what you say whilst you're here. Just make sure you're here. See past the flesh. Prioritize the light in that way. We don't care if, you're of this dark ilk or you're of that light ilk. As long as you're here, present, and willing to be patient, willing to be in the now, that's all that matters. So the fact that people are here is all that matters. It doesn't matter of what they say. We can swiftly move their ego out the way because the ego has no power regardless, especially to the Son of Source. But right now, hold space for all your brothers and your sisters. Hold space for the other aspects of you, God's will. Hold space to God's will in the comments because they're here. Now, what we anchor is the recap. Day 1, remember, everything aligns with numerology. Day 1 was all about oneness, knowing thyself. You ask yourself, what do I like to do? What choices serve for me? You know what choices serve for you by aligning yourself with the choices that actually bring forth satisfaction. You know what you like to do by understanding your day-to-day. When you ask yourself these two questions, what do I like to do? The things you do in your day-to-day, your routines, and you ask yourself what choices do actually serve me, you understand that comes to be guidance when you align yourself with the choices that actually bring forth satisfaction. You then move to phase 2 of day 1, which is the miracle. What is the miracle? The miracle is you. Now, why is the miracle important? The miracle is important because it brings you back to zero and says, what? Choose again. Why is the undoing process of the miracle so important? For the miracle gives not. The reason the miracle is important is because this world restricts so much. It holds on to everything so tight. I need my kids. I need my family. I need my money. I never want to let it go. I never want to let it go. I don't share. That's what this world tells us is right. When you hug on somebody too tight, what happens? It hurts. So the miracle undoes. It lessens the grip. It brings you back to zero and says choose again. When you align with what is miraculous and you align yourself with this truth, then your purpose is emerged. It's emerged. We're living the law of the guides, and we're literally giving you the blueprint to finding your purpose, finding your existence. No, all of this is free. I usually do charge for like live classes because I have a mystery school. Click the link in the bio if you want to join that. We hold these live classes there or longer sessions, but Source showed us to show up. Source told us and showed us showing up is necessary for this alignment for the people today. All this is completely free. I need not anything. See, Source said, focus on my abundance, not the abundance of the world. And literally, when I tell people on day one, I didn't have enough money to pay my rent because a lot of things going on. I was transferring jobs and all of this type of stuff. And for all intents and purposes, I should have been, from an ego perspective, should have been asking people for money. Source said, focus on my abundance and only focus on my abundance. So I was like, perfect. That's what I do always, regardless. I didn't start teaching on technology. I was, for years, holding gatherings and physicality at my houses, the many houses that I have. And one of the people, because we were performing miracles and stuff, and physicality, and somebody named Jeff. Yesterday, we at the end of the live said, say hi, Jeff, or thank you, Jeff. And I actually sent it to him. He was so grateful. He actually said tag him to come here. So I don't know how to do that, but we're going to talk to him in the realms of spirit. But, he said, bring this to technology. I know you're not going to be able to do all the miracles and stuff like you're doing here and guiding us with this energy work and all of that, but bring this teaching into technology. Nadiie, you have to adapt to the times. This stuff is so extremely powerful. It took me a few months before I was like, all right, Jeff, I'm going to do it. I had to muster up the courage. So April 1st came around, and it's the first time I went live publicly. Yes, we told Jeff thank you. Yes, so people, they remember. So April 1st came around, I didn't have enough money for rent because I was transferring jobs and everything. And Source said, focus on my abundance only. Everything's going to be all right. So I focused. I put everything on the line. And I put everything of this world on Source's altar. On the altar of God, I put all that is physical. And I said, let's lock in. And then literally the next day, someone randomly sent me just enough money to pay my rent. Said, I like what you're doing. Money. Wait 1 second. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. All right. So, day one, all about asking yourself, what do I like to do? Understanding what choices you do in your day-to-day, understanding what is your routine. Day two is all about aligning yourself with collaboration. See, day one was all about knowing thyself, oneness. Day two is all about collaborating and understanding that we're in this together. We're one. Day one was talking about oneness, but day two was talking about we're one. So anchor the fact that we're in this together. We're a unison. We're a spirit family. If any beings have any questions in the comments and you have the answers, and Nadiie, or this aspect of what you think Nadiie isn't technically answering it. It's a test from God saying, if you have the answer, show up for your people. So day two was all about collaboration. And we held forth a lot of unison and a lot of love. Day two and day one is about love. All the days is about love and how we're going to integrate it on all levels, the numerical level, the spiritual level, the level of the stars, astrology, and in all forms. Day three was all about aligning ourselves with spiritual gifts and miracles. Day three was practical gifts and cities that we can integrate. And day four was learning how to embody all of this in any form of density, any form of existence. Day five is essentially about moving, because the energy of five is about movement. So it's not about stagnation. So it's allowing all of this energy to flow through us and flow through all of the realms that we choose to exist in. Day six, yesterday, was literally about anchoring Christ consciousness. If you missed all of these days or any of these days, go click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance, and you'll see my YouTube page, and you'll be able to watch all of the days. All right, day 7 today. Now we're on day 7, y'all. So that was a quick recap of everything. Make sure y'all click the link in my bio, Nadiie Black's guidance. You'll be able to watch all of those days. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, as they say. What's important today about day 7? It's about integrating. See, right now it's about integrating. When you look around in this world, you see that the world is allowing itself and the people in it allowing themselves to fall victim to whatever. Right now, we're asking you to stand in your power. Right now, we're asking you to stand in your power. Right now, we're asking you to love more. You're never going to be able to stand in your power if you aren't going to be able to align yourself with love. It's simple. This is not something that is just a teaching that, comes to us and only us. This is a universal truth. This is a cosmic truth. This is a worldly truth. This is a truth on all levels. If you love more, love presents itself in your reality more. Simple. Like yesterday when we were speaking of Christ consciousness, what do we say? God is very simple. Christ consciousness is very simple. People was like, oh man, it's going to be hard for one to teach about Christ consciousness, right? No, because it's simple. What did we say Christ consciousness is? Simply loving, not allowing yourself to be programmed with the ways of the world, the dualistic nature of the world. Simply loving, asking yourself, am I able to forgive? And answering it with a yes. Forgiving yourself and then forgiving all others. First yourself, because we are the commanders and constructors of our own reality. So it's easy to teach Christ consciousness because it's simply love. Be less of a butthead. It's simple. This is not something that is just alignment with spirituality. This is a truth, a universal truth, a God-present truth, a cosmic truth, a worldly truth. This is a truth that supersedes everything. Love, forgive yourself, then forgive others. Don't start off with other people because you're just denying yourself. Then you know in source. You know in source. And for those that say nothing is going to happen to the eclipse or with the eclipse or when the eclipse happens, understand you are a commander being. If you align with the frequency of nothing is going to happen, then nothing is going to happen. But what you must understand is this eclipse is simply like stock. It's like the stock market. If you were a being that involved yourself within the stock market and you had the means to invest in a stock, if a stock is rising, you can invest when a stock rises, or you can invest when a stock falls. When you see this rising happening, when you're seeing so much people putting so much stock or so much energy into a particular thing, and you have the means to invest in it and see a very, very beautiful return, if you don't invest in it, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. All an eclipse is in its most symbolic form is simply shining and shedding light on something differently. Look at the world around you. Hollywood is falling. People that thought they were so untouchable is now getting caught up. People that thought they would never be in the limelight, they're in the limelight. People that thought they were always going to remain hidden, they are now being revealed. The things that thought they can remain in the dark caves and and the abysses and all their little groves, they're now in the forefront of life. As above, so below. When that which is the giver of life, the sun, shines differently, us, the giver of life in our own respected dimensions, shall be different. So your life is going to change. So even if you don't necessarily agree or believe with the eclipse energy, all we say is this. We're not here to colonize or bring forth any, imposing of our beliefs on others. All we're saying is, on the day of the eclipse, tomorrow, after this life, after you've integrated as much as you possibly can, tomorrow, if you don't believe in any of this, just have a prayer with God and say, God, I think, quite frankly, all of them are crazy. Talk bluntly with God. It's not something that is meant to be so revered to where you lose yourself. No, be as yourself when you're in the presence of the beyond. And you say, God, I think all of them are crazy. But on the off chance that one of them is right, about this eclipse, about this energy, God, guide me to seeing as you see. And then live your life. Live your life. I promise you, your life will shift. I promise you, your life will shift. But just show up in that way. For the ones that don't necessarily agree with all of this energy, the collective consciousness itself is putting its energy, all of this energy into this day. So why would you then do yourself a disservice by not utilizing that energy to try to benefit your life, to attempt to benefit your life in some way? All you have to do is say one prayer. Is that too hard? Type 33s in the chat if that's pretty easy. If that's pretty reasonable. All you have to say is one prayer. God, guide me to seeing as you see on the 8th. Type 33s in the chat if that's pretty reasonable. Type 33s in the chat if you understand we're not imposing our beliefs on anybody. If you don't believe, if you think nothing's going to happen, perfect. But all we're saying is on the off chance that something does, on the off chance that somebody is right, safeguard yourself and say, God, I might think all of them are crazy, but just in case one of them is right, God, guide me to seeing as you see and live your life as normally as you possibly can. But I promise you something will change because you're putting on the sight of God, God's glasses. So that's what you tell other people that may not agree with this energy. It's like, okay, your prayer's perfectly fine, but say it's a simple prayer. It actually doesn't hurt. It's actually doing more for you than you may realize. You know, we all get it. So day 7 today is all about aligning ourselves with all that we've learned and continuing to anchor all there is. So there's going to be a lot of group activities today. A lot of group activities. Right now, we all have to make a decision. You're either are for the light or you're not. There is no in between. As above, so below. Like this world took out the middle class, there's no in between. As above, so below. Like the world took out the middle class, there's no in between. You make your bed, you lay in your bed. You make a decision. If you're going to be for the light, that means you're going to stop arguing with people. If you're going to be for the light, that means you're going to stop programming yourself and stop watching videos that are of that the what we call negative ilk. The things that serve not that which is the holy mindset, the holy presence, the light. Watching videos of people fighting, watching videos of people beefing, going back and forth. All of these type of things are not servicing your life. Now you're being called out to step in that commander role. Stop programming yourself with the light and saying, oh, this beloved, beloved, beloved. But then when you got your phone in your hand 24 hours out of the day, all you're watching is things that do not benefit this idea that God is within you. That's a fallacy. See, Source respects when you stand in who you are. See, contrary to popular belief, God judges not. God cares not about the journey, only the destination. So God cares not if you are a warlock or you're a witch or you're a priest or you're a pastor or you're a spiritual leader. All God cares about is, will you make it home eventually on this path? That's all God cares about. Are you going to make it home? I don't care what you become. I don't care what you are. Just assure me that you're going to make it home. But when you get here, make sure you're as pure as when you left. And that language is us being met where we are, because what we know is we actually never left paradise. We never left heaven. We never left these places. We never left heaven. We just thought we did. God is within you. If miracles still show up in your life, if signs still come, if people are still showing forth love in your life, if you still have some form of respect, self-respect, any form of respect, anything of the light in your life, your immediate reality, you're still home. That's heaven seeping through and peeking through the blinders of this illusionary world. All we're asking you to do is pull the curtains away from each other. You know, when you see miracles, you see people love you very, very potently. When you see all these nice things, when you align with this live, it's all symbolic. It's all a sign from God saying, listen. See, people say God works in mysterious ways. It doesn't. It works very, very abrupt. It's in your face. It's apparent. But we just have to be the beings able to see how Source communicates. Because remember, Source does not enable lack mindset and lack behavior. Like, one of the main reasons why people's prayers don't get answered is because you're asking from a lack mindset where Source will never enable that. Source never enables lack mindset, so prayers won't get answered if you're saying, God, help me, help me, help me. Because the moment you say God, all there is hears you. It's like, you know, you're sending a form of vocalization through a walkie-talkie, and it's like, God, and then God is like, shh, yes, and then while you're saying, help me, help me, help me, what's getting sent through is shh, 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 is breaking up, is static, because in the realms of heaven, not a single soul understands that it needs anything. Why does all beings of light understand they don't need anything? Because they are God's abundance. They recognize that. So Source does not play these little lack games and these illusionary games. So what Source says is, listen, remember that you are my abundance. So one of the main reasons why we say one of the most powerful prayers that you can ever pray is, God, guide me to seeing as you see, is even if you're going through, the muck of your life, even if you're going through dark night of the soul, even if you're going through tower moments or whatever you're going through, all you're asking is, God, guide me to seeing this differently. Guide me to seeing as you see. When you ask God, let me put on your glasses, then you start to see, oh, Source is actually seeing everything as abundant. So that dark night of the soul can become the light day of the soul. Again, because that went over some people's heads. The dark night of the soul can become the light day of the soul when you start to see through the eyes of Source. So now, we're all being asked to make a stand. Make a stand of what you feel serves for you. We're all being asked to make that stand. It's not about hating. It's not about any of those type of things. It's integrating what the light is. Why is this important, and what does this have to do with the eclipse? Well, the eclipse simply is shining and shedding light on something differently. As above, so below. So just as the giver of life, the sun in this dimension, shall change its form, so shall you. You shall change its form. And on the next day, when the sun reveals itself again and is birthed within this new light, that's like a resurrection. You too shall resurrect. Past whatever you got going on in your life that serves not. See, the beings that are in this live, that are watching without clicking, that are scrolling, or that clicked on the live to be a part of it, understand that our presence is so potent. Our presence is enough that when you experience this, which is the light, this which is all there is, your life is perfectly fine. Everything that you ever thought could ever get in your way, no. We don't align with anything of lack mindset. Understand that when you are in the presence of the light, it is fine. And one of the reasonings why we're going live and we're bringing forth these teachings of the light for all of these peoples is when you transcend, one of my prayers is, please, God, make sure nobody comes to you saying they didn't know. I don't want not a single one of you going into the afterlife saying, God, I wish you would have told me. I wish you would have told me. No. God is going to say, per your Akashic records, I sent my son to go tell you. So don't say no one told you. Just say you didn't listen if you didn't. And how are we preparing? First, to understand what the preparation is, you must understand what the eclipse is. You must understand what this frequency is, what the teachings are, what all of these things is. There's no empty claims being said here. We went live for 6 days and we gave you very potent information. Lots of people was there. Lots of people was vouching. Go click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance, and you'll be able to see all of those classes, how much space, how much light we held. Today is a recap. Right now we're in this recap, allowing people to gracefully be birthed into this. Because what we know is you can't feed a full course meal to a baby, so you have to meet people where they are. It's not brainwashing to say love. Type 33s in the chat if you understand it's not brainwashing to say love each other more. Type 33s in the chat if you understand it's not brainwashing to say be with your brothers and hold space for your brothers and your sisters. Type 33s in the chat if you're of the understanding that it's not brainwashing to say be less of a butthead. See, when people are saying, well, why are you saying this now? Then you just been out the loop. My whole life I've been dedicated to this. I haven't just been teaching on technology. Someone named Jeff guided me and gave me some advice to put this information out on technology. And it still took me a few months before I actually did it. And if you go to my TikTok page, we've been posting for a year. But we've been in the field with it for 9 years. We've been teaching 9 years. We've been of this light. We've been anchoring this light. So what we're saying is, allow me to be a reflection of who you are. Peace unto you, Patrick. Allow me to be a reflection of who you are. Stand in this full expression. Stand in this light. Stand in your confidence. Stand in that knowingness. Stand in love. It's very simple. Stand in love. There's nothing that can rattle what love is. And for the people that, bring forth their hates and their judgments, that's perfectly fine. You're still here, right? Your soul is still attracting you to this. See, what people must understand about this generation moving forward is, if you don't align with something, then leave. But if you stay on a soul level, you know why you're here. You know why you're here. Because you're waiting for something to be revealed. Everybody on this planet, their DNA is activated. But when our DNA is activated, we need to be put in certain situations to activate the remembrance. Like what we said about Yeshua. People love the stories about Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus. Yeshua didn't come through the womb with all of these abilities activated and moving mountains and all that type of thing. He didn't come through the womb like that. You understand how destructive that would be if a baby was just doing that. All his DNA was activated, though, so when he was put in certain situations around certain people, around certain experiences, then he started to get his memories back and started to remember how to do these things. Well, it's the same thing with you. All of your DNA is activated. All that serves is now for you to be put into a situation where the light is so much around you that you're now being able to remember. See, the reason why Source is coming through right now and is gracefully guiding us into these teachings is because it's so powerful. Because some people are saying, let's get on with the teachings of today, Nadiie. And it's like, listen, see past this flesh and see past what you think you're witnessing. Right now, Source is sending an underlining test for everybody to see if they're going to make their choices, if they're going to make a choice, if they're going to make a stance. Because you have to meet everybody where they are. Right now, it's about, are you able to anchor the fact that presence is enough? Are you able to anchor the fact that presence is enough? See, right now it's about delivering messages. So we will get to the chat. But what we understand is every single person in this live is a master. This is not just about a master that you see, that you think is external from yourself, delivering information. This is not just about valuing what you think Nadiie is. Every single person in this chat is a master. So as a master, if someone is asking a question in the chat, if it's not being answered by Nadiie, that's a test from God for you to go show up for your brothers and show up for your sisters. If you have the answer because you do, because you are the master, then show up for your brothers and your sisters. That's what we're waiting for to see in these comments. We're waiting for that interacting. We're waiting for y'all to step up. We're waiting for you to stand in that light. We're waiting for y'all to say, listen, I'm just as a master and equal to that which is Nadiie. Right now, it's not just about revering one man. Right now, it's understanding that every single person on this planet has the light within them. Every single person on this planet has their DNA activated. Every single person on this planet is connected and aligned. Stop seeing me as a separate being and stop trying to value what I have to say so much. When you have brothers and sisters right next to you, your literal spiritual lineage within the comments, within this structure, within this live that have more answers or answers as equal to what Nadiie can produce. See, this is all a test. So when Nadiie is not interacting with specific questions, Nadiie is being guided by Source directly, God directly saying, Nadiie, shut up. And let's see if everything you've been telling these people has been being resonated and connected. Because right now it's not about you. Right now, it's about standing in the light and bringing forth this level of unification for all peoples. And to bring unification for all peoples is to make sure that all people know that they are just as powerful as the person on the podium. So come with me not with your fallacies and your judgments and your hates. For what you give another in terms of that which is density is what you shall distribute to yourself. Right now, it's not about science or religion or all of these things. It's simply about love. What did we say yesterday? We asked you a question. Q&A segment. Incorporation segment. We asked you a question, and that question was, do you believe God loves you? Type your answers in the chat, yes or no. Do you believe God loves you right now? Do you believe God loves you? Yes, no, maybe. What is your answer? Type it in the chat. Do you believe God loves you? What is your answer? This is going to be interactive. This is going to be an answer for all of us. Do you believe God loves you? Well, if God loves you already, why would you then deny someone else that love? If you know God loves you, and you know God loves your neighbor, and you know God loves your brother, and you know God loves your sister, why are you then going to allow your ego to get in the way of your brothers and your sisters and say, I'm not going to give you love until you show me why I should love you? Why are you then going to get in your brothers and your sisters' way and say, I'm not going to give you love until you're able to provide something for me? Why in this world is that called love bombing? Why in this world when you get in a relationship with somebody or a connection with somebody or a friendship with somebody, whether it's an animal or a live human, and say, oh no, I can't say I love you. I can't say I love you because I need my ego to feel satisfied. Well, if you know God loves you already, and you know God is all there is, and you know God loves all things equally, then love more. Love more. I understand that God loves you. You understand that God loves you. So even if I don't accept what y'all got going on in the chat, even if I don't accept what y'all got going on in life, the fact that God put its stamp on you, my ego out the way, my will out the way, God loves you, so do I. It's simple. Now, you have some people saying, well, what if these people that we know God loves are doing things that we might necessarily accept? God doesn't say you have to be around fire if it burns. God does not say if you stub your toe on a nail, sit in the pain and bathe within the hurts. Leave. There's plenty of stories. There's plenty of stories of messages being sent to cities and messages being sent to people within those cities saying, listen, something's going to happen in this town, leave. There's many situations where God is saying, if something ain't right, get up and move. So if something ain't right, if you're in a toxic situation, if you're in a situation that you don't like, if you're at a job that you don't like, if you're dealing with people you don't like, if you're in any form of life that you see as not serving, get up and leave. But what serves not is for you to blame God whilst you're being in it. Don't complain about a job and then get complain and bring forth complaints when you get fired or bring forth complaints when you quit. Because all God's going to say is, per your Akashic records, you asked to leave this job. You said 47 times you dislike this person. You said 58 times you dislike this job. So don't get mad at us when we finally separate you from it. So all we're saying is, listen, if something serves not for you, leave. It's simple. If that makes sense, type 33s in the comments. If something does not serve for you, leave. If that makes sense, type 33s in the comments. Why does that bring forth importance, Nadiie? It brings forth importance because right now you have to stand in your power. You have to stand in your commander energy. If you aren't able to leave a ex, a little person that decided to be in a relationship with you, if you aren't able to leave a job over some money, you're valuing money and material and sex and satisfaction temporarily over God. If those things have more value, then so be it. But stand in that. But don't then be a hypocrite and say, oh, I need my life to change if you aren't able to separate yourself from that. Because how do you expect to evolve and transcend past this world? How do you expect to evolve and transcend past this world if you're still being bottled down by material? If a piece of paper is going to be the separation, the obstacle between you and God. There is no proof. There's no proof that material has power. We know it has no power because everybody that transcends, they take not their material. All the billionaires with all of their money, it stays in that bank. All of the people with all of their houses and all of these things, it stays here on earth. They experience something else. Now, if these beings with all of these billions and all of these houses and all of these things, if they transcend and all of this stuff blip out of earth, then you have a story to tell. But as we know it in this life, you take nothing of this illusion with you. So why are you valuing it so much? Today, now we're rolling into the teachings. Everything aligns and is being integrated together. Those who see why we had to baby step our way into the teachings of today. Because we had to have people make some type of stance, have some type of awareness, have some type of accountability. There's so much lack of accountability, especially as it pertains to God. There's so much lack of accountability. So much people want to put everything on the beyond. So much people want to put everything on angels and spirits and not accept anything for themselves, not take any responsibility, not take any accountability. Right now it's about what you value. Right now, we're going to ask you another question. Remember, this is all interactive because today is not just about teaching, right? We taught for 6 days straight, maybe a collective of 5, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 to 11 hours. You have 10 to 11 hours worth of teachings, the most powerful teachings, miracles, how to perform miracles, all of that right now is about seeing what you value. Those who see past the flesh, they understand why this is all important, and they understand why it had to be brought forth in a patience way, this teachings. So we're going to ask you another question, everybody. Because this is not just for Nadie's ears, this is for the beyond, because there's spirits around you. There's spirits, there's angels, God itself around you. What do you value, y'all? Do you value this world or do you value God? What's your answer in the comments, y'all? Type in the chat what you value. Do you value this world or do you value God? Do you value this world or do you value God? What's your answer in the comments? See, we aren't able to meet anybody where they are until they lay down a firm foundation. What do you value in this world? What do you value, period? Things that are worldly or things that are godly? Things that are in the world or things that are not of the world? The world or God? The things that you say you value, oh, children of light, the things that you say you value, hold that true to your intentions. Hold that true to your heart. Because right now, we have to have some clear understanding. Right now, we have to have some clear understanding. Can you prove an afterlife or do you only believe in it? We astral project every single night. You can experience beings that have transcended past this flesh by astral projecting. So if you want some type of proof about the afterlife, first you must understand that, like Albert Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. You can translate that into spirituality by understanding you cannot understand the beyond with the same mind that thought you separate of it. So first, learn how to astral project. Look up courses of astral projection. DM me and I'll give you some techniques to learn how to astral project. When you astral project, you go into a dimension where now the etheric beings and the ethers are so in the forefront. The etheric beings, the ethers, the spirit beings, beings that have transcended, beings that are past this flesh. DM me if you want to know. I astral project every single night. I actually got out of the astral realms last night. So if you want to talk about the afterlife, learn how to astral project and you will see beings that was once on earth that's no longer here. You will have beings actually communicate to you what happens after you transcend. You can see literally what happens. But now when we give you this proof, No, astral projecting. There's dreaming, there's lucid dreaming, then there's astral projecting. Astral projecting is you leaving your physical body with your spirit body and you're going into the spirit realms. You're able to interact with a lot of things there. A lot of masters, spiritual masters, Buddha, Yeshua, all these beings knew of astral projection. That's how at that time they would communicate to beings out of the world or beings that are very far away. Remember, at that time they didn't have technology. This is literally proven. Go into spiritual histories, go into, native histories, go into histories, actually research this stuff. There's no excuse nowadays because we have the means to research. We have our internet, we have our books, we have histories and elders still alive that are telling us all of this information. We have masters that are telling you. Listen, astral projecting that requires a course within itself. So DM me if you actually want to learn. We'll touch over it a little bit, but if you actually want to learn about astral projecting, not lucid dreaming, because they're very, very different. Lucid dreaming is all a part of your subconsciousness. Astral projecting is essentially you going first. Most of the people that aren't of a very, very loving frequency, they will go into the astral realms and they will end up in the ethers. What is the ethers? No, all of this is completely free. Yes, I typically ask for money in terms of like classes and booking a session, but now Source said my abundance is all that matters. Now make sure that you only focus on my abundance, not the world. My goal is to bring forth service of the light. My goal is to bring forth service of the light. And if I bring forth service of the light, if you so see it to send me money, then ask me. But never, if you text me or DM me like, yo, I want to send you money, I love the live, I will ignore your text. If you find out how to send me money and I didn't bring forth no service in your life, I'll just send it back. Right now, everything is free. You can literally book a session with me for free. My schedule is open for free. This is not for money, it's for free. All of the lives that I've been going on, all of these classes that we've been going on, all of these things is completely for free. Click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's Guidance. You can watch over 10 to 11 hours of the teachings of Christ, the teachings of God's Son for free. So now what has to be said? It's simple. It's simple. It's very simple. So yes, if you want to learn how to do something, a particular technique, astral projecting, all of these things. Oh no, we're not defense. Listen, what y'all must understand is we understand how to teach to certain beings. So certain beings, they align with the frequency that we brought forth. It's a very passionate frequency of the light. We know how to teach to those beings. Because if we said, oh, beloved, if they're being so judgmental and they're being hating, and they're saying, oh, there's Jeff! Hey, there's Jeff. The hi, my name is Jeff Miller. That's Jeff. That's the Jeff that we all said, hey, thanks, Jeff, for guiding us. See, Jeff, I'm so grateful you're here. Jeff was here when I was doing a lot of my gatherings in physicality. Jeff knows how powerful. He literally knows me in physicality. Jeff was one of the people that was there as we were performing miracles and all of these type of things. Jeff was there. So he knows what's going on. But listen, y'all, when we get in that real passionate energy, it's not because we're mad or anything. I need y'all to understand that. Like, look past the flesh. There's multiple ways to teach, and we have to bridge. Like, for example, if you go to the hood, you can't say, oh, beloved, dearest child of God. They're going to say, move me and miss me with that BS. You're have to align with their language and their frequency and their style. Use little slang, ebonics. Hey, bro, you ain't got to do this no more. You don't got to go, like, sometimes in the hood, you can't talk to people like, oh, beloved child of light. Sometimes you just got to say, hey, bro, you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that, bro. You good. Bro, look at me. You good. You know who you is. Sometimes all you need to do is say, you know who you is, but it's the intention behind it. It's the frequency behind it. So when we get passionate with certain people, it's literally just because their soul is communicating to me that, listen, I'm not receptive to this, the innocence and the nurturing aspect. I'm not receptive to the mother. When I'm speaking like this to y'all, that's the mother aspect of God coming through. But some people aren't receptive to the mother. They're receptive to the father, the father. So it's essentially like, okay, we need some sternness. We need some security. So all of this is about valuing. It's very, very beautiful. So essentially what we're here for today, because we gave you a lot of information for the last 6 days. right now, the beings that see what's going on, they know what's happening. It's not just me performing miracles with just a particular Jeff. Watch day 3, and I give you literal techniques. Go on the YouTube, click the link in the bio, Naughty Black's guidance. I give you literal, like, this is the thing that people must understand. And some people are asking, why even talk about some of the people that aren't in agreement with certain things? I'm not just specifically talking to those people. These people are archetypes. So there's what an archetype is a representation of a consciousness. That's what an archetype is. Representation of a consciousness. So when there's people that's coming in and they have a representative, they're being, representers for a particular consciousness that is not of what the truth is, it's our job to then display that which is the light. So when people say things like, what miracles have you presented? What we would say is just go to day 3. Go to day 3 on the YouTube live and utilize the techniques that we gave you. See not your eyes and see not with your eyes. Understand and anchor the gifts that and the techniques that we have given you on day 3. Yes, it is. It is an answer. Go try it out. See, it's only in this dimension. It's only in the dimension of people who judge that don't feel like they can apply information. They don't align themselves with research. I'm telling you, if you are curious about that which is miraculous within my essence, I'm telling you, if you are curious about what that is miraculous about this essence, then the teachings that we have distributed, apply them. It's an integration. It's an integration. Everybody, type 33s in the chat if it makes sense that if you want to understand something about spirituality, you have to apply it for yourself. If that makes sense, type 33s in the chat. Type 33s in the chat if you understand. If you want to research some information, or if you're curious about information about spirituality, you have to apply it for yourself. So when I say I'm giving you specific techniques about particular things like miracles, and you ask, how do I perform a miracle? And I'm telling you, well, to perform a miracle, you do the technique. Don't then rely on your eyes and say, I need you to do it. No, because you're asking. Type 33s in the chat if you understand that if you are in alignment with the spiritual truth, what the truth is, you have to apply it. So we're not deflecting. We're not doing any of it. We're just aligning ourselves with what the truth is. If you want to learn how to do a miracle, if you want to align yourself with what the truth is, then apply the information that we have given you. Watch day 3. Day 3 was all about applying information. And when you apply what the light is, you will say, oh, snaps, Nadiie was right. My hands are glowing. Oh, snaps, I'm learning about Reiki. Oh, snaps, these things are actually working. It's not about me telling you what the technique is right now. It's about you going. Because look, in this generation, people are so instant gratification. You never want to go out and do it. You never want to go out and do it. When I say you, the people that's here that really know what's going on, I don't even though there is some teachings that's coming through, God is literally saying, Nadiie, until everyone has a firm stance on what's going on, until we all know their values, until there's some structure within them, until everyone has made a choice, every single person. Remember, if there's 100 people, but 99 of us go to heaven, and there's still one person that didn't go, we're still waiting for that one person. We're never going to deny and cut off aspects of ourselves. So in order for today to move smoothly, we have to show up for every single person in this live that chooses to stay. You feel me? Does that make sense, y'all? Does that make sense, y'all? Because we're all one. Because we're all one. It makes sense for us to show up for the people that are here. It makes sense. In order for us to get, and it's like typical teacher thing. If we're all in the classroom right now, and little Johnny in the back does not get any single thing that we're talking about. If we're in a classroom right now, but little Johnny in the back does not get a single thing that we're talking about, we will be doing little Johnny and ourselves a disservice by not actually attempting to help him. You know, I see a few people saying, just leave. Leave. Well, listen, yes, they can leave. Yes, we say, if it serves for them to leave, then leave. But if they still are staying, If they still are staying, then that means, remember, see past the flesh on a soul level. Their soul is saying, don't cut me off. I'm here. I did my part. The ego is just so powerful in this vessel today. Remember, their soul is here. So we have to, and this is also a test for us. Because remember what I said, like, I'm waiting for a lot of y'all to really show up and support. Like when somebody is bringing forth hates and judgments and those things, I need all of y'all to go at those people and send them love. Cut through. This is what I'm teaching. We're teaching it in a conversation type of level today. Today, we're teaching in a conversation level today. This is not a lesson 1 type. That was for the 6 days of live. Right now, we're teaching in a conversation type of way. So align yourself with this and follow along. The way you are speaking today is beautiful. Thank you. We're very grateful. Today, we're speaking in a conversation type of way. Remember, my goal is to not be seen as a teacher. I've had disciples before in another life. I don't want them. It serves not. Because everybody on this planet is powerful. I don't want students. I don't want disciples. I don't want pupils. I need everybody to see that we are all united. We are all one. So right now, it's about a conversation. So when people are bringing forth hates and judgments and things in the comments, I need all of you to send them love. At them and send them love. Don't go back and forth. At them and send them love. Because their soul is staying here. If you're saying then just leave and they're not leaving, well, understand that it's their soul that's being anchored. And their soul is making the decision. Nadiie, how do I get a one-on-one session? Click the link in my bio. You'll see book a session. You can click that. All of this is free. Remember, I typically do ask for money. Because it's weird that people think to be spiritual, you have to be broke. No, because God is abundant, as above, so below. But you must understand that some moments, a lot of the time today, no. Click the link in my bio, and you'll see my full schedule. Sometimes, a lot of the time, it's not about material. It's about God's abundance. So everything I'm doing is completely free. You can book a session with me for free. You can ask me questions in the DM for free. People that has asking me questions in the DM, they know I don't just send little messages. I send giant paragraphs detailing things that people would, charge hundreds of dollars for. Right now, it's about supporting all of you. And right now, what we're waiting for, what God is waiting for, what the Beyond and all the angels is waiting for, is y'all in these comments to show up for the people that are doubting. It's to show up for the people around you. Right now, we're seeing how many people have integrated the light. Because right now, it's not about just continuously throwing things on the wall and continuously throwing all of this teachings and information and all of that just to do it. No, we have to see where the consciousness is. A level of certainty. Now Source is giving me guidance to continue the teachings of today. So we're seeing there's a big shift in the consciousness now because we put forth that energy. So let's continue. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. So today we're going to do things a little differently, all right? It'll be a little more collaborative because remember, today is all about collaboration. I'm starting to see y'all at people more. I'm starting to see y'all communicate and converse with people more, sending people light. Do not judge, do not hate. Because remember, y'all say y'all want to be light workers. Remember, y'all say y'all want to be in this light, standing in this light. So now it's the time. So we're going to do a Q&A first. Usually we do a Q&A last. We're going to break that cycle immediately. We're going to do our Q&A first. So if you have any specific questions, now, finally, teamwork, amen, exactly. So now y'all see why. Now y'all see why we waited, right? Now, does it make sense? Why we waited? Does it make sense? We have to wait for a collaborative effort because we're not in this together. I don't want to just come in and just, be in the forefront. I need everybody to be beside us as we move. We're a unit. So now we're starting the Q&A segment 1. And we're not going to tell you how many segments there's going to be. This is about to just continue to flow because this is going to be a long live. This is going to be the longest one. So we can afford to stay on a particular topic and guide people. Because like I would spend a lot more time than the average teacher on little Johnny over there that don't get it because I understand that today's live is extremely long. So if I don't at least plant a seed in little Johnny over there, he's going to get lost in the ocean because we're going on the deep end today. So let me get little Johnny a raft, a life jacket, a boat. Let me teach him how to paddle. And if he doesn't want to do it, he can't say he don't know how to. So I can afford to spend a little more time than I would usually on people that are judging and people are hating because I'm trying to get them together. You know, scream and fuss at me all you want. Take your life jacket. Here's your paddle. Here's your boat. Here's your raft. Here's your food. Now you have everything right. Now let's continue. Now I see everybody collaborating. Now let's ask these questions in the comments. Let's start our Q&A first. All right, y'all. Yay! Finally. All right. So everybody got their life raft. Everybody got everything they need. All right. Start this comments. How do you know you're not milking a confirmation bias like every other superstitious belief system? Oh, I love that question. How do you know you're not milking confirmation bias like every other superstitious belief system? Because what you must understand about me is from a vessel perspective, I am Sika, Blackfoot, and I'm a medicine man in our culture. It's one of the highest honors you can have. People that know what that means to be a medicine man, from me saying that, they see the value in what it is to even speak with me. The people that don't get it, that don't appreciate, the elders and the native cultures, they look, medicine man, who cares? But the ways the elders taught me is to see everything through the eyes of symbolism, see everything through the eyes that's symbolic. So what's different from a logical point of view, because remember, our goal is to guide you to understanding things from a logical point of view first before you get to a spiritual point of view, because you have to meet logic with spirituality. So meet your mind with your heart. When you see things from a logical point of view, all we're saying today is look around you. You can't tell me. And that question came from Challenge Religions. Challenge Religions, you can't tell me that this world is the same world as it once was 20 years ago. This world has changed drastically. A lot of dark industries are crumbling. Hollywood is falling. All of these things are falling. Energies is being retired. There's a lot of crazy things happening in the world. And we understand as above, so below. What happens in the stars happen here. So if things that are here, which are so dark, and these dark structures are falling, that means the as above is the light is going to be shining harder. There's no such thing as dark in the light in heaven. There's no such thing as evil and those type of things in heaven. But what we can understand is as above, so below. If the dark is crumbling here, then up there, then that means the light is shining more brightly. So all we're saying is to just look around. It's not confirmation bias. We're just saying look at your world. All we understand is as above, so below. When you look at your world and you see what's going on, you see leaders and teachers and beings that are of the spirit ilk, the holy ones, as the native elders say. They call these beings that stand in the energy that I'm standing in the holy ones. When you see the holy ones coming back to earth, when you see all these things happening, when you see in dark industries crumble, then that's not a superstitious belief, especially when there's prophecies about it. There's prophecies in the native cultures called the rainbow warriors or warriors of the rainbow. The rainbow ways is the beings of unification, all the colors uniting, coming forth to bring forth this level of love to the planet once more. There is, even in the religions, we deny no religions. We meet the structures where they are and are grateful that people are even considering God in any capacity. So we don't judge religions. If you are of the Christian ilk and you say, Nadiie, pray with me, Nadiie, come to my church. I will come to your church and pray with you, whether on our knees or whatever. I will meet you where you are, because right now it's about God. It's not about the journey. It's about the destination. Is this prayer going to guide you to God? If it is, then I shall pray with you. If it's not, I'm not going to step foot in that building. But if it is, I'm with you. So all we're saying, Challenge Religions, is look at the world around you. We understand as above, so below. When the dark is crumbling, what happens when the dark crumbles when the light is present? That means the light shines harder. So that's what's happening. So all we're saying is look around and ask questions. Let's see what the next. Kathleen, she said, having faith, you no longer doubt. And to take that even like Kathleen said, have faith, no longer doubt. We're going to take it a step further and say, believe not, have faith not, and know in God. Don't believe in God, don't know or don't believe in God, don't have faith in God, know in God. Don't align yourself with that which is fickle. When beings were to say, like this, for example, if I say you don't be blinking, you're going to look at me up and down and say you do be blinking. You're like, look, I'm blinking. That level of discernment, that level of knowingness, you know you're blinking because I literally just blinked. You have to have that level of discernment, that level of knowingness as it pertains to God. Knowing God. And when you know in God, then all things that is natural shall present itself. Milk Danone. I hope you don't mean Lucifer, the light bearer. Lucifer, what y'all think that is, doesn't actually exist. Satan and Baphomet, all those things don't actually exist. And what we must anchor about that, Milk Danone, may I say your name correctly, is when we envision heaven, or in the spirit realms we call heaven God's domain. When you envision heaven and you envision all these powerful places, it's paradise, it's bliss. Well, look up the words paradise and bliss. Look at your own language. Those things are void of hate, void of judgments, void of systems and structures. So if you say heaven is where all truth is, if you say when you're around God, you're around what's real, but those hates and those Satans and those things don't exist there, then they don't exist there. Because we're basing our reality on what's real. We're basing everything, our foundation, on God. And if it's not next to God, then it's not so. That's a very simple concept. Like some people, or they've been so brainwashed, and we're not talking about you, Milk, or Mike. I keep calling you Milk. It's Mike Danone 20. There it is. We're not calling you brainwashed, but what we're saying is there are people that ask those questions that are brainwashed. Because when we say hate and Satan and stuff isn't real, people are unintentionally programmed to defend their enemy. It's actually wild. You know, you'll have certain people of certain religions, when I would say, because I actually made a video on it and I actually tested it. I said, yeah, Satan isn't real, hate isn't real, evil isn't real, any of this, no, all this stuff is not real. You have people so programmed that they were defending their enemy. They were saying, no, he is real. And I was like, use your brain, use your logic for a second. Where is he real? Now, if let's play hypotheticals. If all of this evil was to be real, where would it exist? Would it exist in God, or would it exist in this land? People will be like, if they're thinking with their logical mind, they'll be like, well, I mean, logically speaking, paradise is blissful and there's no such thing as hate and bliss. So I guess Satan and evil and all those type of things, they would exist in a world that's like this. Exactly. So then I would ask them another question. Well, listen, God's child, would you want to go to heaven, or would you want to stay here? And they'll be like, I mean, I want to go to heaven. I don't want to be around Satan. And it's like, okay, well, if you want to be around that which is bliss, then stop putting on the mind of defense for your enemy. I don't believe in enemies. We have no enemies. But since you subscribe to enemies, then stop putting forth so much power into them. Remember, they're only as powerful as you let them be. If you want to go to heaven, you have to put on the mindset of one who is in heaven. As above, so below. If you want to be a good businessman here, you have to learn how to save. You have to money manage. You have to literally put on the consciousness of a great businessman here. Well, it's the same thing with heaven. If you want to go to heaven, you have to learn how to love more. You have to put on the consciousness of one who is already in heaven. It's simple. It's simple. Like some people want certain answers about truth and spirituality to be so complex. I promise you it's not. It's be less of a butthead. And love your brothers and your sisters as if you were speaking to a child. You're not going to sit here and tell me you're going to be cussing up a storm at a 3-year-old because they don't get something, or maybe they did something that you don't necessarily agree with. Children do things all the time that us, as what we think adults is, don't necessarily agree with. Why are you going to spank them, hit them, and do all this stuff to the children? No, you're not. So why would you then do that to God's child? That went over some people's heads. Oh my goodness. If you, as who you are not going to bring forth hates, judgments, profanity, and all of this type of nasty behavior to a child, to a 3-year-old, why would you then give that to God's child? Because you don't agree with them. Still a child. That's pretty simple, right? I don't get how some people can see those type of ideologies and say, oh, you're not real, or oh, you want money, or oh, you're not of the light, or oh, perform a miracle, perform a miracle. The fact that you can't see what's miraculous with that statement shows me and tells me that whether I showed you a miracle with my hands or not, you was never going to see it, period. Because your eyes are covered by darkness. If you can't see what is miraculous about, listen, you judge not 3-year-olds in this world because they're children. So judge not God's children, which is all of us. If you can't see what's miraculous about that, my hands could be glowing and sending beams of light, but you won't be able to see it because what you see is what you are. If you view yourself as lack, all you will see is lack. So even when we was performing miracles on day 3, when it was happening, you had people in the comments saying, yes, it's working, it's working, it's working. But you also had some people, like, unless a few, maybe like I counted maybe like 2-3 people that was like, I don't get what's all this fuss about? I don't get it. What's all this fuss about? Nothing's working. That should let you know how powerful your perception is and how powerful you are. If you aren't embodying what this light is, if you aren't allowing your eyes to be light and your eyes to see only through love, you're never going to see a miracle. You're never going to see a miracle if you can't see love. If you can't set aside your ego and say, listen, right now is something that's beyond me. Will the rapture be on the 8th? No, the rapture will not be on the 8th, and as you know it. But remember, this is the age of Aquarius. What is the age of Aquarius? What is an age? Remember, this teachings today is going to be more of a conversation style. So it's going to be a lot of, questions and stuff like that. What is a age? A age in its most symbolic form is essentially where new levels of frequency are born. Remember that. A age in its most symbolic form is where new levels of frequency are born. You had maybe 2 ages ago, you had like the age where Yeshua and Buddha and all these beings were present. And those particular time periods, only one being or maybe a handful of beings could integrate the light fully because the planet, the collective consciousness could not understand it. See, look around in your world. People are wearing crystals, sacred geometry. People are talking about the light more. People are talking about God more on public platforms, getting thousands and millions of views. That perspective was not very widespread in the times of Yeshua. People would talk about Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus and Christ consciousness and all of these things, and they talk about how beloved he is. But what you must understand is at that point in time, people did not like Yeshua. People hated Yeshua. They did not like him. But I don't get how people forgot that. What are the stories? He got crucified. You're not going to take somebody to the afterlife that you like. People at that time did not like him. Because he was bringing forth the light. Because he said God is within you. Because he said love more. Because he said respect women. Yet, contrary to popular belief, Yeshua did not just have 12 disciples. He had hundreds. And most of them were women. There are many, many, many texts and lost Bibles and many histories of... Because remember, Yeshua traveled the world. So when you go to different parts of the world, you will see histories about when he touched down in that area. He would have lots of women connecting with him because women were more intuitive. Even today, they're more intuitive, and especially at that time. So he would say, like, for example, with when Mary Magdalene was around him, he would give her so much power, allow her to speak and stuff like that. And some of the men that was around him, they would, why are you allowing that woman to speak so much? Why are you talking with her so much? So you say didn't respect women. But he said, we're all equal. He was breaking so many barriers. That's one of the reasons why people didn't like him. So, let's not act like one of the most revered leaders and the revered masters was experiencing the most love, period. Y'all loved him after the fact. Y'all realized that he was the truth after you killed him. So now let's not do that again. Let's not crucify another leader. Let's not crucify another God because you don't get it. And this doesn't just go for what Nadiie is. This goes for your brothers and sisters. Don't crucify the Tim Hortons worker because she made your coffee wrong. Don't crucify the person in Krispy Kreme's because they didn't cook your donut right. Don't crucify your brother or your sister because they're irritated. Don't crucify your mother because she didn't follow up with what she said she was. Don't stop crucifying people. When are you going to start loving people more? What's the technique? Watch day 3. Watch day 3. Click the link in my bio. We went live for 7 days. Today's the 7th day. Click the link in my bio. The 6 days that we went live are posted. We're giving you all the answers there. Why repeat? Why go in a cycle? Because you missed the live. Go there. It's there for you. We're timeless. What's the technique? Watch it. I don't get that's like someone asking for eggs and I tell them I have eggs in my fridge, and they just refuse to go on my fridge and just complain that they don't got eggs. That's like someone saying, I need eggs to cook for my house. I tell them the eggs in my fridge, and let's say we're in the crib, we're just chilling, we're chopping it up. And they say, yeah, I need some eggs for my crib. And I'm like, all right, there's eggs in my fridge, you can go grab it. And then all they're doing is still sitting down, not moving, and saying complaints about eggs. I wish I had eggs. I wish I had eggs. I'm telling you where the eggs are. I'm giving you the eggs. We dedicated a full live, over 2 hours, to techniques. Watch it. Click the link in my bio if you actually are interested. All right, let's see about these questions. Remember, we're doing our Q&A. We're going to try to speed up the answers to these questions, but we're listening to sources' guidance. So if source, because remember, even if we answer one question, what's coming through, the download that's coming through could answer a multitude of questions. Mastery class, not mastery course. No, it's a mastery course because we've been going live for 7 days. True Earth, True Man. If you missed any of the other classes, click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance, you'll see the 6 days. It's a course. Today is the last day of the course. We have S. Ann. And this is a Q&A segment, so ask your questions. And remember, y'all, right now it's not about just valuing Nadiie. We're all masters in here. That's why we're adjusting today's live in today's course, not with a teacher student type of role. It's a conversation because you are just as much of a master as I am. So if you have an answer, and everybody in these comments that feel like they're students, that feel like they need to ask questions, there's people in the comments that are light workers that been on this planet years dedicating their lives to the light. They have potent and powerful information. So now it's time for y'all to step up as well. If you see a question that now they're not necessarily getting to, you have the answer, get to it. Y'all can see how, we're being called to come in this unison together. Sand. I said sand. Put it together, Nadiie. Can someone be a light worker in a star seed? Yes. Someone can be a light worker in a star seed. What is a star seed? Simply, a star seed is essentially a being that understands that it's not just galactic, understanding that it is also cosmic, understanding that it's not just cosmic, but understanding it is that which is God. It is all there is. That's what a star seed is. And a light worker is basically aligning yourself with the frequency where a star seed can be planted. Again, a light worker is aligning yourself with the frequency that a star seed can be planted. So yes, you can be a star seed and a light worker, and you can be a light worker and not a star seed. But it's about a frequency. So when you walk on this path of light and you're actually on the path, you're actually every single day forgiving, every single day being in this love, every single day focusing on what the light is, then you align yourself with the aspect of you. Because remember, we're all one. You're aligning yourself with the aspect of you that is a star seed to rest within you. And when that consciousness emerges within you, then it blossoms, for it's a seed. How do we get past a small part of me that won't open, doesn't want to believe in myself? First and foremost, that question is from Wolf Kai 82. First and foremost, you have to ask yourself, why am I getting in my own way? Then you ask yourself, what benefits does this give me? And be honest, be actually honest. The ego will be very logical. The ego from a physical point of view makes sense with a lot of its statements. That's why when people talk about demons, I don't believe in demons and stuff like that, but I understand a lot of people agree with this type of terminology. So when people will be like, demons can't get to me and the ego can't get to me and all that stuff, I'm like, oh, you never actually experienced a real one then. You just experienced a aspect of yourself. These beings are one of the reasons, or these aspects of yourself are one of the reasons why physicality exists. You're in their dimension. They know the English language much better than you do because they created it. So you're not going to tell me they're not very convincing. They are very convincing. They created the perspectives of density and duality that you use. So now you question them. We question them. So question the ego that's within you that says you're not enough. Question why. What is one of the most powerful Buddha teachings? Inviting your ego to tea and asking it why it's here. That's a very powerful statement. It's a very powerful teaching. Inviting your ego to tea and asking it why it's here. Because when you put it on the spot, it don't like being put on the spot because the ego involves itself with autopilot type of activity, subconscious type of activity. When you put it on the spot, now it has to try to muster up some type of reflection. And when you know what the truth is, you're not going to allow that. So ask yourself why. And when you ask yourself why enough, you'll start to realize there's no answer. And if there's no answer, I'm going to stop getting my own way. What do you need money for if you're getting raptured? Nobody is getting raptured. What we talk about when we talk about the end of ages are a rapture is the end of life as you know it. There's been many floods and stuff on this planet, like Atlantis, Lemuria, and all of these places that's been documented. A lot of the stuff that we're talking about spiritually, scientists and colleges are coming out saying, oh, yes, and metaphysical beings, the metaphysical masters and stuff, they're coming out saying, yes, a lot of this stuff was real. We just didn't admit it. See, this is what people must understand about today's generation and today's age. Don't come to me saying nothing is deep, because you either believe God is all or God is nothing. And if God is all, then that means everything is deep, because God is all. One. And number two, everything that you use in your day-to-day right now at one point in time has been deemed unrealistic. Until what? Somebody said, I'm going to make it a reality. Again, because I flew over some people's head. Everything that you experience in your day-to-day at some point in time has been deemed unrealistic. Until somebody said they're going to make it a reality. What does that tell us about who we are? That tells us there is nothing that is unrealistic until we make the decision to make it real. Because we have the means to, because we are God's abundance. With that being said, no one is going to get raptured. It's just the end of life as we know it. Then it's a good thing. Look at the world around. A lot of people have been so brainwashed, they think that their reality is the only reality that's affecting the collective consciousness. You have people in Hollywood that are doing unfathomable things to kids and unfathomable things to people, this dark energy. You have all of these structures that are just being torn down. You have the leaders of the world being torn down because they weren't leaders to begin with. And now us, the people, the true leaders of what the world is, the true leaders of the light, the true leaders of love, now we're coming in the forefront. So it's the end of life as we once knew. A life that we once knew is Hollywood being, peaches and cream. A life we once knew is the government, governing his people and protecting his people. That's a life that we once knew, or we were brainwashed to believe. Again, that's a life we were brainwashed to believe. Now we're seeing what the truth is. So all a rapture is simply end of life as you know it. But for us that anchored a new life, this is actually a very powerful revelation right now. What a rapture is end of life as you know it. But for the beings that choose to live a different way, they won't experience a rapture, because the rapture, the wave of water that's coming over a particular consciousness, if you aren't of that consciousness, the shoe don't fit, baby, so don't try to force it on. The rapture is having its way with people that felt like it was okay to be in the dark energy. But if you're not in the dark energy, then you don't have to worry about it. Why focus on something that ain't got nothing to do with you? That might have flew over a lot of people's heads, but it's very, very powerful. Let's see what these comments are. I'm seeing a lot of ads. I see y'all answering the questions. I like that. Let's talk about energy and music. I got you. We're going to, I want to note that. Hey, if Jesus could do all these miracles, couldn't he have faked the pain on the cross? Whoa, that's a great question. That comes from Mo Solar. Mo Solar said, hey, right now we're doing a Q&A segment, right? Okay, so everybody, just so y'all are aware, we are going live for 7 days. Today is the last day. This is a mastery course for Eclipse preparation. If you missed the 6 days, click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance. Make sure you click that. It takes you to my YouTube page where you can watch all 6 of those days. We taught you very powerful information. Day 7 is about integration. It's about integrating all of this information. Day 7 is not about just continuing this teaching. Just like Yeshua in his time. He wasn't always teaching. There were times where him and his disciples was just kicking it and chilling with one another, just talking casually about the light. You can talk casually about the light and not be in some type of teacher role. Right now, we're meeting each other where we are and speaking casually about the light. This is how you integrate. You don't force the integration upon us. You slowly reel it in. You just talk about the light. Yeah, so did y'all enjoy that? Did y'all enjoy that? Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. So we're structuring this in a conversation form. So, but right now we're in a Q&A segment because I need everybody to get what's heavier in their heart off their chest, and so they can see. Like, I need y'all to see that we're all normal. Like, people think I'm so great and I performed all these miracles. I did all these light things. They say, oh, you're so great. But I'm like, I'm really not. What y'all must understand is we're all equal, right? We're all equal. So in heaven, since we're all equal, because in this world we view equality as average, I would be considered average. I will be the most average light worker, the most average angel. But if a being that is average is so bright and revered on this planet, that's not good. That's the issue, because why is this planet so dark that something average from heaven is so bright? Now we're coming here saying, listen, make spirituality your normality. Make miracles and all these things your normality. It's actually not normal that these things don't happen. Because remember, you literally said God is everything. So if God is everything, why are you experiencing any aspect of life void of it? Void of miracles, void of signs, void of communion, void of communication with God? No. It's not normal that people feel like they can't go directly to God. It's not normal that people feel like they can't produce miracles and things like that. Your presence is the miracle. You want to talk about perform miracles and all these type of things. You are the miracle. The fact that you're here, the fact that you exist is miraculous. Why can't you see what's miraculous about yourself? You are so powerful. You, all of you, you're so powerful. So, hey, if Jesus could do all these miracles, couldn't he have faked the pain? No, he didn't fake the pain. It hurt. Yeshua, let me explain why Yeshua. And Yeshua, if y'all don't remember, we're the son of source just as you. You're the daughters of heaven. You're the daughters of source. We are all the child of God. I am a being of Christ consciousness as much as Yeshua, as much as you are, as much as Buddha, Krishna, and all these other beings. For the beings that see past all of this, physicality, they see Yeshua right next to me. They see the angels right next to me. They see the light all around me. If you don't see Yeshua or Christ consciousness in this room as me, then that's a fallacy within your own eyes. Yeshua is right beside me. Yeshua is right beside you. Understand that the Christ is the consciousness, right? When we talk about Yeshua, we're not talking about a man because he transcended past the flesh. Even Yeshua himself says, stop identifying me with the body that I transcended past. When you say my name, that's fine. When you call for me, that's fine. But don't think of a body when you do, because that's what I transcended past. Do you want this limited aspect of me? Yes, I did very great things whilst I were in the body, but that's still a limited part of myself. Or do you want to value the Christ? So anytime you say Yeshua or Jesus, think about the consciousness, the thing that he evolved himself into, not the body he separated himself from. And then he was so much in power, he separated himself from the body and then took the body. Because he said, I want to be in oneness so much, I'm going to even take the body and then transmute the body. To show y'all don't need the body. Stop view. Yeshua loves y'all so much, he didn't leave a body. He said, I need y'all to not see the body so much so that I'm going to use one of the most powerful techniques and take it into the light and transmute it. So, listen, Yeshua, when Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, came to this earth, right? He came with all his DNA activated. But in order for him to come, his grandmother Anne, had to create with some other respected leaders a group of teachers called the Essenes. If y'all are all interested in this information, don't just listen to it and say, ooh, ah. Go do research. And then you will do the research and you will say, oh, snaps, Nadiie was right. There was a group of leaders that taught Yeshua called the Essenes in a land called Qumran. Don't just go to your typical religions, because even your religions have 57,000 versions and all that extra stuff. Go and on top of that, go look at all of those versions. Look at all of those versions and go to the older versions and go to, histories across the planet. Go to histories on this side. You cross-reference. That's how you find truthful information. You go to this particular area. What did y'all say about this person or about the light? You go to this particular area, the natives. What did y'all say? In the book, it literally says, my son come out of Egypt. That means he was traveling the world because he wasn't born there. Go to Egypt. Go to these places and figure out what they all have to say about this being. And then you cross-reference. What sounds like a man made it up, but what's correlating together? So grandmother Anne, Yeshua's grandmother, with along help with some other beings, created the Essenes. The Essenes are very powerful teachers. Oh my gosh, so very much powerful teachers. They taught everything as sacred. Everything was so sacred. Like literally, when they will have dinner, they will have chairs pulled out for angels. They will have the angel of life, the angel of breath, the angel of water. They was that serious. They had, before you even could become a Essene, literally, before you could become a Essene, you had to go on 1 year vow of silence. A 1 year vow of silence. That's how dedicated these beings were. Yeshua could not have came to earth unless Grandmother Ann and the respected leaders created the Essenes, because that was the preparation. Because remember, Yeshua came as a human, right? Keep that in mind. So boom, once the Essenes were created and established, and everyone went through their vows of silence, everybody showed that they can hold in space for the light, because they all knew something in this family. The entire lineage of Yeshua was Christ beings. But they all knew within our lineage at a particular time, because they're in communion with angels, they were saying, listen, there's a spirit. Like the angels was talking about, y'all, hey, y'all, listen, Essenes, there's a spirit in the angel like lobby. And he's saying he's wanting to come, but he said he loves the fact that y'all are so much in the light. He wants to come through y'all. But he said the only way he's able to come to earth and be his full expression is if you set it up right for him. Because part of the agreement to come to earth is amnesia. Part of the test of earth is to forget. So you're not going to sit here and tell me that Yeshua came in knowing all things, because literally you have to agree to forget, because the test of earth is, even when you think you don't know, God is within you, and it shall be emerged when you are put in the situations of the light. So Yeshua knew this. He was like, listen, I'm not going to that planet until everything is right. So Grandmother Ann got the call. All the other leaders got the call. They created the Essenes. Grandmother Ann and all of those leaders are Christ as well. Then, after they created the Christ Foundation, then Grandmother Ann had Mother Mary and taught Mother Mary all of those things. Because then, at that point in time, and even Grandmother Ann's parents had to teach her. So the whole lineage is of the Christ. But the Christ just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. The reason why we go to Grandmother Ann first is because from Grandmother Ann to Mother Mary to Yeshua was as potent as the Christ energy could be on the planet at that particular time. Because it's a gradual process. Remember, Source baby feeds you. And this is all for this question, hey, if Jesus could do all these miracles, could he have faked the pain on the cross? No, he didn't fake it. So now Grandmother Ann had to teach Mother Mary. So Mother Mary went through vows of silence. Mother Mary is just as much the Christ is as Yeshua is. Because to birth the Christ, you have to be the Christ. That went over some people's heads. To birth the Christ, you have to be the Christ. You can't birth something that strong and be a drug addict. You're gonna transcend or go on in the afterlife in the process of birth. You have to hold space. So when Yeshua came through, remember about the stories when the angels would come to Mary, Mother Mary, they would say, listen, this child that you're gonna have is a very, very powerful child. You treat it with love. Literally, angels were telling Mother Mary how to raise this child. I know he has his brothers, and you raise his brothers and his sisters in that way. But you're not being called to raise this one that way. You're being called to raise him and coddle him, nurture him, because this one values love very much so. Yeshua came as a human. Why did Yeshua come as a human? To show you all, even as a human, it's possible. Doesn't it think logically for a second? If you want to be an effective teacher, wouldn't you want to be relatable? If you wanted to be a respected teacher, I'm going to that. I'm going to look at some other. If I don't get to your question, just ask it again. Everybody, type 33 in the chat if it makes sense to this. If this makes sense, type 33 in the chat. If you want to be a teacher that comes across well to other people, that has his teachings being met, wouldn't it make sense to be relatable? Type 33s in the chat if it makes sense to be relatable as it pertains to teaching people. Wouldn't that make sense? Type 33s in the chat if it makes sense. If you want to teach people, you have to be relatable to them. That makes sense, right? So Yeshua knew that. Yeshua, we call him the master of masters for a reason. He said, I'm not going to come to earth with all of my power and say, I'm Superman, follow me. Yeshua said, I'm going to come through the womb and come as a human just like you. I want to feel fear, anger, pains, everything, because I'm in a human body just like you. But what I'm going to prove to all of you, is, listen, the flesh has no power. What did he say? The flesh is weak, the spirit is willing. I am in the world, not of it. The reason why he came through the womb, came as a human, was to say, listen, after my life, Yeshua, Yeshua's here actually channeling this information. See past this vessel. Yeshua is saying, after my life, not a single human on earth can say it can't be done. Because I did it. If I would have came on earth, full power, with all this magnitude, then possibly you could make the argument, child of God. But I came just like you, experienced pains, hurts, went in caves to cry. All of this, I experienced everything you experienced. But I did that all to show you that you can as well. So, Yeshua, when he first came through the womb, he was crying. Your 33 sign worked for me. I got to see my family, Nadiie. Thank you for the mudra. See? People are they saying it works. But Yeshua is saying, listen, I came through the womb with no powers, none of that. I came through the womb as normal as you did when you came out your mother's womb. The only difference between me and other people at that time is my DNA was activated. But that means nothing in of itself if I'm not put in situations where I can be raised right. As we said 2 days ago, if Yeshua was in the hood and was around very ratchet people, negative people, he wouldn't have became the Christ, because all that's around him is negative. What he's saying is, it matters not that your DNA is activated, it matters that you bring forth the action of raising the children right. That's why the angel, because listen, think logically for a second. If Yeshua was enough and DNA activation was enough, then angels wouldn't have came to Mother Mary saying, raise this child in this way. Angels would not have came to Mother Mary saying, raise the child this way, if the DNA was enough, because the DNA would be enough. Think logically. So, because we know this being us coming as a human, he's a baby, you have to raise him. You can't throw Yeshua in the woods and expect him to be great around, fallacies and trees. You can't put a baby in the woods and expect it to be a spiritual master. You have to put that baby in a land around spiritual masters. The proof is, look at the monks or the Eastern religions. There's beings, the babies in the Eastern Asian religions and things of that nature. Babies, beings 5 years old, they're meditating for a long time. They're doing supernatural things. They're like 5, they're like 4, they're like 3. That's how Yeshua was. But you're sitting here trying to tell me that, oh no, he came out the womb like that. No. Yes, like Empress said, it's about the environment. The environment had to support that idea of Yeshua. He had to be raised right and taught right of the light. The reason why we're speaking of Yeshua, we're speaking about you. When we say in the term Yeshua, move past that and see the term human. When we're saying the word Yeshua in this particular context, we're saying human. A human, no matter what happens, no matter how great their DNA is and all of that, still has to be in an environment that supports idea of love, and still has to be raised by mothers and fathers that love them. You can seriously damage the mind of a child if you are constantly bringing forth hates, constantly cussing around them. Children, we see it all the time on TikToks and social medias. Children rapping about guns and all these type of things. Children saying they want to smoke because they see their parents doing it. That's the reason why the angel came to Mother Mary and said, listen, I know you live your light and you live this way and you are who you say you are. But this child, you have to go a step further in the light. This child, you have to be a step further. What intentions did you set before starting the session? Empress of all things. We're going to get to that. That's actually going to be the next question. It's very, very powerful. Something very powerful happened. But the angel came to Mother Mary saying, you have to go a step further with this child. And when I say this child, Yeshua, I'm talking about you as well, because we're one. So yes, see not Yeshua as some powerful, revered master, because he didn't want to be seen that way. He wanted to be seen as your brother, as someone who is relatable, as someone that you can talk to, confide in, cry on my shoulder, I'm here for you. He didn't want no praise. He didn't want no religious to worship him. He didn't want none of that. He said, listen, I'm here as a human to show you you can do it too. So, in order for that to happen, his grandmother Anne, had to be the Christ and create the Essenes. His mother had to embody the Christ, because to birth the Christ, you have to be the Christ. And I'm not of religion. I don't subscribe to any religion. I'm Sikh-Sika. That means Blackfoot, Native American. Really. I'm really about that. But even if I was to join a type of religious structure, it would be the Native, because I'm literally a medicine man. But I'm not even a part of that. I'm not a part of a religion. But what y'all must understand is these great figures that were on earth, they didn't actually be a part of religion. The religion was created after their demise, or what we think their demise was. Yeshua was not out here promoting religions, because at that particular time, Judaism was law. Do you not understand that? Judaism was law. So when Yeshua was at that time, he was going against Judaism, but he wasn't going against the religion. He was going against the government aspect of it, because it was law. His problem was not the religion. Yeshua's problem is not religions. He says if you want to create structures around God, that's completely fine. But my problem is if you say God is the only way. Well, my problem is if you say the only way you can reach God is by going into those religions or going into that building. That's what Yeshua's problem was. Yeshua's problem was not Judaism. So for the people that talk about the Jews and hate and all of that, Yeshua has no problem with religion, period. But what he's saying is, if you say the only way you can reach God is this building, then I have a problem with it. If you say one of the ways you can reach God is through us, that's fine. So, yes. So Yeshua, he was taught by the Essenes. He was taught alchemy. He was taught all of these things. But his DNA was activated. What does your DNA being activated mean? When your DNA is activated, what that means is you're more receptive to spiritual information. So you know how there's some people that would talk about miracles and stuff like that? They're like, you didn't do that. That's not real. None of that's real. Well, with Yeshua, because his DNA is activated, when his mother said, baby, you can do these powerful things, and we have this school where, very powerful masters are, and you can, turn lead into gold. Yeshua didn't say, that's not possible. He said, how do I do it? All the beings in this life, when we talk about this light, when we talk about the love, if you say, how do I do it, and that's not possible, then your DNA is activated. It's simple. So Yeshua, to answer your question, Yeshua did not fake his pain. He didn't fake nothing. He don't fake the funk. He as real as it gets. But he said, listen, I'm going to forgive myself for feeling it. The thing that separates Yeshua from others is when he feels pain, he immediately forgives it. He said, let's say you cut him. He might say, ow, but immediately in that same breath, he's going to be like, I forgive myself for perceiving pain, for I am the abundant child of God. And then because he affirmed that for himself, and he knows the pain will be no longer, because he knows it. He didn't doubt, he didn't fear. Yes, if Yeshua stubs his toe, he might let out a yelp, but in that same breath, he's going to say, listen, I forgive myself, for I'm the abundant child of God. I cannot feel pain. And then the pain will just go. You're so powerful. Yeshua's so powerful. We're all one. You're so powerful when you stand in the knowingness of all there is. Just like when Yeshua got hurt because he was walking and they didn't have, socks and stuff, the thorn, you can get cut and all this type of stuff. And when that happened, you're so powerful, you can tell the pain to leave. Pain, you are in the Holy One's body. I command you to leave. And when you have that level of knowingness about the power that you have, that you can literally command pain to leave your life, it will leave. So, Now, let's see what that that one question was. Remember, we're still part of this Q&A segment, y'all. Got a few more questions. Respect is what we lack. I want to answer this one last question. Y'all, your 33 sign work for me. Mary consented to having Jesus too, Emperor of all things. Yes, she consented to. Because remember, it wasn't just, he just showed up in the womb one day and said, yep, I'm here with it. No. In order to birth, and we might get into that, Emperor of all things, depending on where this goes. In order to birth powerful things, like to have, if y'all were ever interested in having kids, right? And y'all wanted to know how to have kids that fly and have kids that, where powerful things are happening, like, there's a lot of things that has to happen in terms of ceremony, even the process of creation, intercourse. You're entering your course with somebody. Back in the day, we would say, let me learn you. We wouldn't say, let me get them goods. Even during that process, there has to be prayer, there has to be alignment, there has to be frequencies. Everything has to be an intention. There can't be a single thought, meaning I'm just trying to come. There can't be a single thought that's like, I just want to, no. It's we're willing in this information, and we're setting the stage up for a powerful child. So yes, Mother Mary consented to having Jesus because she was like, all right, I finally embodied the Christ. Okay, here it is. Emperor of all things host. Curious, what intentions did you set before starting the session? I think you are great. The intentions of today, it was very, very powerful. This is going to be the last question I asked. If you have any other questions that I didn't get to before we continue with today's course, just DM me. I'm very good with that. Remember, everything that we're doing right now is free. The intentions that we set before was to be present with you all, to be here with you all, to be, as your brother, as your sister, as God's will, as the Son of Source with you. The intention is to be egoless with you. That's the intentions we set before. I didn't have any, I never really have plans for any of this because, you don't want your ego to get in the way. The ego gets in the way too much. When you try to plan things meticulously, because doubt is able to be presented. Oh, maybe I should talk about this. Oh, maybe I should talk about, maybe, no, I don't know. They're not going to get that. They're not ready. No. I just say, God, guide me to being present with these people. Present with them. Guide them to not see me as a master today, but as their friend. Guide them to seeing this as you just called your friend up on the phone and y'all just chopping it up. Today. Yes, for the 6 days we went live, click the link in my bio, Nadiie Black's guidance, you'll see the 6 lives, the 6 courses. Because today's the last day. Today's not about teaching right now with y'all. This is what holding space is. It's listen, I need y'all, I know y'all think I'm so great. I need y'all to see me as y'all. See me get passionate. See me yell. See me laugh. See me cry. Relate to me as I relate to you, for we are one. See me not as someone that's so far away and, oh, he got all the information I could never get to. Don't see me like that. Because if you do see me like that, I didn't teach right. If you see me as something all extra special, I didn't teach right. Because it's not that. I'm as normal as any other angel. So that's my intention. Alrighty, everybody. If all of that made sense, if all of the questions we just answered made sense, type 33s in the chat so we can continue. If all of these questions that has been answered, if everything that we said made sense on any level, if it made sense, if you see it all flowing together, if you see everything flowing together, type 33s in the chat. If you see the value, continue, even if you type 33s again, but still ask the questions. If you see the value of what we're saying, type 33s in the chat. If you see the value of it, type 33s in the chat. Thank you. I'm gonna grab the book, because remember I told y'all we were gonna get to the, remember we did the group activity where we voted on some topics? I didn't forget about y'all. I'm not a man of my word. I'm a soul of my word. We got the Book of Secrets. I put a lot of powerful things in this book. But we're not going to go over those things. We're going to go over the things that we all agreed to. Such an amazing question. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, what did we get to yesterday? Yesterday, we got to natural disasters. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Sirius Star, galactic wars, and what we should be eating. Okay. All right. So we're going to get to that. Yay! All right. Everybody. Let's bring some structure, some order. All right? Some structure, some order. On the count of 3, we're going to do a lot of group activities. Okay? Group activities. I know a lot of people love when we collaborate with one another. Remember, we want everybody to see this as me meeting you where you are. See this as a phone call. Don't see this as a teacher teaching you anything. This is a phone call. Because I'm really spiritual in my day-to-day. People that talk to me, that like literally, because I wasn't always like this. We grew into this. Like, remember, like Yeshua? He wasn't always like that. It's something that was birthed, that was put in the right situations. So people there, oh my God, I'm so proud of Nadiie. Like, he said, y'all don't even know how old Nadiie used to be. Like, he used to be, like, I need y'all to see, like, no, I'm just like y'all. I need y'all to see this as a phone conversation. You just called your friend up. You're on your phone, right? You called your friend up. Hey, buddy, what's good? What's good with y'all? We're talking. Don't see this as a master. This is part of this is what everything that you experience is the precipice, the master class. This is another giant, powerful master class, okay? Everything is still in perfect alignment. So how you view today is essentially, like, this is the test. Like, you know, the OAA test, like the end of the year test. This is the test. Because if you've been watching the 6 days and you've been integrating all the information, you know exactly why today's teaching is the way it is. If you see past the flesh, you know exactly why. So everybody, on the count of 3, we're going to take a big, deep breath together, okay? We're going to need you to collaborate. If you say you're serious about the light, right? You say you're serious about the light, right? Type 33s if you're serious about the light. Type 33s if you're serious about God. Type 33s if you're serious and you're done with the illusion on the planet. Type 33s if you're serious and you're done with hates and judgments and pains. Type 33 if you actually want to make a change in your life. Type 33s if you know you want to make a change, but you don't necessarily know where to start. Well, now is where you start. Now is where you start. If you wanted to be a leader, if you wanted to be one who knows, if you wanted to be some type of support system, now this is where you start. Because your spirit, your power, your presence is enough. It's enough. So on the count of 3, everybody, we're all going to take a deep breath. You're going to hold it for as long as you can. You're going to exhale for as long as you can. But when you exhale, you blow it out. For there is breath and life, and there is life and breath. All right? So you're going to breathe in, hold it as long as you can, blow it out. On the count of 3, we'll all take a deep breath together. And you're going to see, everybody that wants to know about miracles and see the power and see all of this stuff, participate then. Because when we all have one intention and when we all are coming in together to support our spirit family, you will see what is miraculous. All right? 1, first for the deep breath. 2, breathe in, exhale. Make sure you hold it. 3, breathe in. Hold it for as long as you can. And exhale whenever you feel. Exhale for your mouth. Through your mouth. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Inhale. Exhale. You don't have to listen to me for the exhale. Trust. If you want to hold for 7,000 seconds, hold it for that long. One more again. Breathe in. As a group. Blow out all the worries, all the cares, all that does not matter. You see the stabilization that just happened, that just covered all of us. We're emptying our cup and we're allowing the light to flow within us. Everybody, we're going to do a group activity, and it's through sound alchemy. We're all going to emit a frequency. You know the pure tone frequencies and the high vibration music that we listen to when we meditate? Well, we're going to emit that as much as we possibly can. All right? So on the count of 3, what we're going to do is we're going to emerge within the sound. And as we emerge into it, if you run out of breath, just breathe in and continue to use that sound. Okay? It's going to be a ooh. It's going to be that sound. On the count of 3. Okay? All of us. This is a union. I don't care if your dog, your mother isn't. Are you going to allow people to get in the way of God right now? No, you're not. Right now, you're holding space for all in existence. Not just Earth, not just the cosmos. We're all collectively going to be holding space. We're going to be doing a very, very powerful technique. Literally. The pure tone that you hear and the high vibration music, it's from within. So on the count of 3, we're all going to emit this loving sound, this loving frequency. There are stories about when Jesus would come into a room, they would hear him. Not his footsteps, but his literal presence would emit a sound of healing. This is the sound we're going to produce. They say when angels and archangels come in your presence, you hear a emitting frequency. You hear this love, their sound. On a count of 3, we're all ooh. All right? And join us. Join us. 1, 2, 3. Unison now. Ooh. Continue it. Ooh. Send that frequency to the beyond. Continue that sound. Send that frequency to the beings that may not get it. Send that frequency to the beings of love. Send that frequency to your family. Ooh. Ooh. Participate. Allow that which is the transmutation of all things, all power within you to cut through. To cut through. Set your intention to be the Holy One today. Set your intention to be more in love today. Set your intention to be that which is. All right, everybody. If you participated, which I know you did, take one more deep breath. Now, everybody, look at your hands. It's fine. There's no judgments here, A.K.A. Your presence is enough. Everybody look at your hands. If you want to know how to lucid dream or astral project or any of these things, understand that there is power in your hands. Understand your first tattoo are these lines in your hands. This is what... Exactly. Yes, telepathy. This is what native elders would tell us. They would tell us not to mark our bodies unless you're in ceremony because you're already marked. So use the markings you already have. And the markings you have is within your hands. Your hands tell spirits who you are. So look at your hands at this moment. Inspect your hands. Now visualize a circle of light in the middle of your hands. Exactly. Visualize a circle of light in the middle of your hands. Visualize a beam of light, whatever color, getting sent to that circle in the middle of your hands. Thank you, Shelby. We love you very much so. We're glad that you see. We got to meet people where they are. Thank you. Send that beacon of light to that circle that's within your hands. Now, visualize a beam of light. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. It matters not, God's child. We hear you. We're here. Visualize a beam of light getting sent out of that circle. So now there's a beam of light going into your hands, into that circle. Now that circle is protruding a beam of light. Make it any color that serves for you. Remember, do not imagine. Visualize. If you have trouble visualizing, close your eyes and visualize your hands. See your hands. You know your hands are right in front of your face. If it helps, put your hands in front of your face. What does your hands look like from the details? Look at your hands, visualize it. Don't imagine because your hands are there. A beam of light going to that circle, and a beam of light coming from that circle. Now you hold this energy. Make sure you don't move your fingers or keep your hands still. Don't move your fingers. You see how my hands are, how they're kind of slightly curved? Keep them still. When you keep them still and you keep this visualization true, the light going into that circle and the light coming out of that circle, you'll start feeling warmth within your hands. You will start feeling itching sensations within your thumbs and the tip of your fingers. Sometimes your fingers would just start to twitch and you didn't even move it. Sometimes your fingers would start to twitch like that. You didn't even move it. You'll feel the warmth. When you start feeling the itching sensations, when you start feeling the warmth within your hands, now, you see this golden white light that's around me? Visualize and cover your entire body with this golden white light. There were stories of when Yeshua would go into towns, he had this golden aura and this golden hue about him. Yeshua did this technique that we're giving you today, the Christ did. Remember, Yeshua valued the hands a lot. Why do you think he used Reiki so much? Because he knew what we're teaching you right now. Visualize that golden white hue over your entire body. If you have a hard time visualizing, close your eyes. Let's say you're sitting down, wherever you're at. Sit down or visualize this. Visualize, let's say you're sitting down. You're actually sitting down. Visualize your light body sitting down. This gold white light sitting down. Visualize what your toes look like covered in the light. Visualize your knees in the light, your elbows in the light. Visualize your shirt in the light, covered in this light. Visualize this gold and white light all around you. Whilst your hands are still with this beam of light going to this circle in the middle of your hands and coming out of the circle in the middle of your hands. Do you see right now that ego is not in the way? You see that doubt is not in the way? Even when you tried the doubt, you somehow kind of recognize that something more is happening. Your ego kind of recognizes something more is happening. So it gets out the way. When you're so much in the light, when you're so much in the love frequency, your ego will say, oh, you're serious, my bad. Your ego even bows down. For all of those that wanted to see a miracle, now is your day to participate in one. Your hands are still. The circle of light within the middle of your hands is now being sent. A beam of pure love. Any color you want it to be. Your circle in the middle of your hands is now protruding light, connecting, meeting that beam. Your entire body is covered in this golden white light. If you have a hard time visualizing what that golden white light looks like, if your eyes are closed, open your eyes and see that golden white light around me. Your hands should be warm now. Your hands should be feeling itching sensations now, because they do. By my name, I affirm it. If your physical body or your physical eyes want to get in the way, trust not the eyes of two, and know that it is happening regardless of what your ego says. Because now, today, we value God, not the ego. Put your hands over your heart. You put your hands over your heart to be in this now. Feel your heartbeat. If you see not what is miraculous outside of yourself, you see not what is miraculous within you. If you see not what is miraculous within you, you see not what is miraculous outside of you. Feel your heartbeat and see that your heart is a very powerful guide. Why is your heart a powerful guide? Your heart is a powerful guide because its sole existence is to make sure that you exist. It moves to the beat of its own drum rhythmically. Trust this process, everybody. Your body feels light now. Your body feels wavy. Right now, nothing else matters, like Lauryn Hill's song. Nothing even matters at all. Nothing matters but your heartbeat, your love, who you are. Now, everybody, take your hands off of your heart and close them together. Close them together like this, not like in the prayer fashion, but as if you were holding a clap. Hold the light together. Hold this light together and blow on your hands. Send the life, for the breath is life. The Essene masters put so much stock in breath because they understand the breath is the giver of life. So with the intention of life, with the intention of Christ consciousness, with the intention of embodying God, we bring forth breath, life. Breathe on your hands once more. Bring forth that breath. Open your hands very slowly, everybody. Look at your palms and blow life into your hands. Your presence is enough. Now, with this intention, with your Reiki activated, with your presence activated, remember your entire body is covered with this gold and white light. Everybody in unison, close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. All your DNA is activated, powers is activated, close your eyes. Now visualize anybody that has ever done you wrong. Visualize anybody that has ever brought forth any pains or arguments your way. That ex, that family member, that person that you seen that was a stranger. That job, that system, that religion, that structure. Visualize anything that ever brought you discomfort. Put it in your mind's eye. Now on the count of 3, everybody, you visualize that thing, right? Give it a form. Visualize your hands. Visualize your hands grabbing those things. And then call on the altar of source, all right? So you visualize the things that does not serve for you. Visualize people that may have done you wrong. Visualize systems that did you wrong, or what you think did you wrong, or that you know serve not for you. As your eyes are closed, you visualize these things. Now you use these activated hands with that body of yours that is covered in the white and gold light, and you grab it with your hands. Grab it. Now it's in your hands. Grab it now. Now on the call of 3, now on the count of 3, on the call of 3, everybody, you say this: by my name, I affirm the altar of God in front of me now. Again, on the call of 3, everybody say, by my name, I affirm the altar of God in front of me now. If you don't want to say the word God, say source. By my name, I affirm the altar of source in front of me now. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. By my name, I affirm the altar of God in front of me now. Trust that it happened. You don't even need to say, and so it is. It is already. When you're in the presence of isness, when you embody that which is the light, your presence literally says, and so it is to everything. You need not the tongue to say, and so it is. You need not the tongue to say amen or amen. You need not the tongue to say ashe. When your presence and your existence is in the light, your presence is enough. Your body language is saying ashe. Your body language, not the physical body, your light body is saying, and so it is. So now that the altar of source is in front of you, remember your hands is gripping these things that you know serve you not. Put them and place them gently on the altar of source. The things that were in your hand that serve not, you place them on the altar of source. Give them up. You need not the material of this world, the pains of this world, the hurts of this world. Leave them now. They served you no longer, for they never have served. Now, all of us on the count of 3. On the count of 3, because we put everything on the altar. Remember, all people collaborate. Even those that have not clicked on the live, we see you. You're still there. Everybody, on the count and the call of 3, you say, we forgive ourselves. On the count of 3, we say, in unison, we forgive ourselves. Say it, scream it. I don't care if there's somebody in front of you. I don't care if you're at work. I don't care if you're in the park. God matters, because this is all a test. God is so powerful that even when you say this, let's say you're at your job, God is so powerful that when you say this, God will make sure that everybody is in the knowingness that something powerful is happening, so they won't question you. On the count of 3, say, we forgive ourselves. 1, 2, 3. We forgive ourselves. Source said, say it with power. Mean it. The world, the pains, the illusions, they serve no longer. Say it like you know it. Say it like a general. On the count of 3, we forgive ourselves. 1, 2, 3. We forgive ourselves. You mean that. Stand in that. Now, with this energy, everybody, on the count of 3, everybody, command, we forgive all others. On the count of 3, everybody, we forgive all others, all right? In unison, command it. 1, 2, 3. We forgive all others, all right? First, we affirm that we forgive ourselves. Now we affirm we forgive all others. Why? Now is the why. Why do we forgive? Now, on the count of 3, everybody, we say, we accept all there is within us. All right? On the count of 3, we say, we accept all there is within us. The reason this is so important is because we aligned ourselves with the frequency of the light, all that is within us is the light. So we're accepting only that. Remember, we pushed the ego aside. We retired the ego. We retired pains. We retired anger. We retired all of it. So now what's left is our birthright, being the abundance of God and being the will of God. So on the count of 3, we all say, we accept all that is within us. Or you can say, we accept all there is within us. Which either way, all right? 1, 2, 3. We accept all there is within us. If your eyes were closed, everybody open your eyes. If your eyes were open, lean back. Bathe in this. Do you feel a change happen? Everyone that's been participating. Now you can type in the comments. Do y'all feel a shift? Let me know. Type 33s if y'all feel a shift. Everybody. Type 33s in the chat if you feel a shift. Everybody. Type 33 in the chat if you feel a shift. You say you wanted a miracle, we gave you one. You say you wanted a miracle, we gave you one. What more do you want? We gave you what you wanted. We met you where you were. What more do you have to say? 1033, you see. It makes sense now, right? What more do you have to say? We've proven it to you. Remember, Source is very blunt. It's abrupt. But Source doesn't move on ego time. Source does not move on ego time. If the ego says, show me now, Source says, no, I don't move by your standards and I don't move by your beats to your drum, ego. God knew that we were going to do a miracle today, but God was not going to follow with the ego. The people that see, they know we was going to do a miracle today. 33, y'all see what's going on. All right, it connects with everybody. So now, what we must anchor is as above, so below, the balance frequencies, right? So you remember how we did the ooh, that angelic presence? Now we're going to go to our diaphragm. That was the as above. Exactly, y'all see. Everything is in complete alignment. Y'all see what's happening, right? Now, because all of you seen, none of y'all can ever say you didn't know. Yeah, Juju. Y'all know it. Juju knows it. Because we did the ooh. Now we're going to the diaphragm. Juju said what the diaphragm is. Is that the ringing in the right ear? Pay attention. It's the ringing within your presence. Now we're going to Om together. The Om is from the diaphragm, the lower 3 chakras. The Ooh was from the higher 3 chakras. And when you combine both of them, you meet yourself in the heart center. So now we're going to flip to the sign of fertility, creation, the diaphragm, because we're going to be creating something, all right? So on the count of 3, we're all going to Om together. Om. And we're going to do many different variations of this. So when you hear a new variation, pick it up. Everybody's singing, yes. When you hear a new variation, if I say, you just pick it up where we go, all right? Just follow along, everybody. Type 33s in the chat if you're ready. We need everybody to have their footing because we're entering a vision quest now. This is one of the first times in Earth history. This is one of the first times, and you're literally in history right now. This is one of the first times in Earth history where a vision quest is being conducted digitally, or what you think digitally is. Because remember, we're not actually separate from one another. Can you sing without actually speaking? Hey, what do you say? You're getting deep. You're getting deep. The fact that you had that thought lets me know you know where you're at. Yes, you can. But remember, it also serves for you to vocalize it because you're talking to the earth. You're talking to all of the beings in the light. But if it serves for you, if your voice really is like, no, we're not doing that right now. May our presence do it. When you visualize in your mind's eye, you use your mind's eye and that language of the light. But right now, don't allow your ego to convince you. Remember, the ego is very convincing. So if you're ready, on the count of 3, we're going to Om. And when I move and shift to a different pitch, everybody follow along. We're doing this for the collective. 1, 2, 3. Om. Om. Louder. Om. Om. Louder. Om. Om. Shift. Be in the now. You all felt how that silence was loud. There is language in many things that our ears, our physical ears, choose not to hear. Now we're asking all of you to hear these things. Now we're asking all of you to hear these things. You're so much in power and so much in potency. All that matters is everyone that joins the live, everyone that just felt our energy, all of them, your friends, your family that heard you, all the spirits and spirit guides that heard you, they all feel immense love because somebody is dedicating themselves to God before our eyes. This is a vision quest. You're all part of history right now. The first time a vision quest has been conducted digitally. I need y'all all to understand how historic this moment is. I need y'all all to understand the light that's presenting itself. Just like how Christ consciousness within us directs this vision quest now. Now what we must align ourselves with is this. Everybody pull up 33s. Remember, for 33 is Mudra we created. It means Hania. Hania is Hopi for spirit warrior. When you align with what is a spirit warrior, you Expose the wounds that's within you to be healed. Pull up your 33s, lock them together. It's a powerful mudra. Make sure your thumb and your pinky, the tips are touching. This is infinity. You're aligning yourself with Christ consciousness for eternity. Ringing in ears, but calm. For all those that wanted to see a miracle, we just performed one. Type 33s in the chat if you've seen what was miraculous about what we just did in its entirety. Type 33s in the chat if you've seen what is miraculous about what we just did in its entirety. Type 33s in the chat if you just seen what is miraculous about what we just did in its entirety. All of us just participated in something miraculous. So for all the doubters that said, where is the miracle? We all just told you and showed you. For all the doubters that said, oh no, Nadiie is the only one that could perform a miracle. No, no, no. Every single person in this live that understood that they are just as powerful as any master just did a miracle for their entire environment. That technique that we just gave you is so powerful. It's not just for you. It's for your entire environment. You just healed and saved so many souls. If you live in a neighborhood, your entire neighborhood just went to heaven because of you. Because of you. I need y'all to get how powerful y'all are and how much responsibility this light is. All a soul means is consciousness and awareness. When you're aware and you're conscious, then you are a soul. You operate from your spirit when you need not thoughts and you're present in the now. You operate within transcension when you know both and you align yourself with both, the soul and the spirit. So all of us know what is miraculous. People releasing tears. People releasing in all ways. We are here together. You have now seen who I am. I am the Son of Source, as are you, for we are one. There's no difference between us. Christ consciousness never came in just one man or one person or one time. It now is covered over the entire planet. Every single one of you are God's will. Every single one of you are Christ. The second coming is you realizing the power inside of yourself. Okay? So, everybody, 33, remember one of the most powerful mudras you can ever align yourself. Literally is what the mudra is saying for the people that want to understand. It means Hania, it means spirit warrior, but there's also a language, a conversation that happens. So boom, when you first have the intention, to bring forth the 33 frequency, what you're saying is you're calling on God and you're calling on Christ consciousness and God's will. When you set the intention of my hand shall display 33, that's the call. God come. Then when you display 33, what you're calling forth is the knowingness of Christ consciousness, the presence of Christ consciousness. First, God, come in. That's you saying, I want to throw 33s up now. Then, when you throw it, you're saying Christ consciousness. Now, when you combine it, you're saying oneness. God, first is God, then it's Christ consciousness, then it's oneness, the unification for eternity. God, Christ consciousness, oneness, the unification for eternity. Remember, your fingers like this are of infinity. It represents infinity. Remember, we see everything through the eyes of symbolism. So now hold your hands like this, everybody. This is Mudra. The Mudra that we created. All of us. Now close your eyes or keep your eyes open, however you see it serve. I was an angel spreading her wings. Very beautiful, JoJo's miracle. You are indeed the miracle. Everybody close your eyes or keep your eyes open. Remember, we're doing a vision quest now. Close your eyes or keep them open, but if you have a hard time visualizing, close your eyes. It's okay. It's okay, God's child. It's okay to close them. As you have this mudra, you throw your 33s, you lock them. Your thumb and your pinky on both hands, the tips are touching. Visualize the tallest mountain you can ever see in the distance. So in the distance, visualize a mountain. Far away, visualize a mountain. All right, everybody, visualize a mountain. I don't care what mountain it is. I don't care if it's Mount Everest. I don't care what mountain it is. Visualize a mountain. Now, visualize all around that mountain, trees and forests. First, make sure your eyes are closed. Visualize a mountain, then visualize all around that mountain, trees and forests. Now, remember, your body is still covered in that white and gold light, even though you may have forgot about it, or you may have not forgotten about it. It's still covered. It's always covered. With the technique that we just have given you, you don't even need to do that technique anymore. All you have to do is remind yourself that you are covered within that light. You don't have to do it again. Once you do it, it's done. Now you just have to remember it's done. So now as you visualize this mountain, you visualize the forest and the woods and the trees all around this mountain. Visualize you, that light body. You don't have to visualize what you're wearing. Just visualize a humanoid type structure, a humanoid form that is literally all you see is light. Dr. Manhattan within The Watchmen, you know how he's all blue? Visualize but not blue, but light and gold and white and gold. And visualize that human structure, that human form, which is you. You're past your hair. You're beyond your hair. You're beyond your clothes. You're beyond your skin complexion. You're beyond your bones. You're beyond the vessel. So visualize just the light body. Walking within the woods. Walking towards the mountain. Keep your eyes closed, God's child. Visualize that mountain. Visualize trees and forests all around. And visualize you, but your light body, that white and gold body, walking through the woods towards the mountain. As you're walking towards this mountain, God's child, you may say, wow, it's taking a little minute for us to get here. Stop in your tracks. Stop walking, God's child. Look at your feet. Put your head down. Literally move what you think your physical head is. The moment you think about this place that we're taking you, you're literally there. That's why it's good to keep your eyes closed and do not open them. You're literally there in the woods, and though there's a mountain far away, your physical body is right here. Whilst you're walking, have this wave and waddle, this drift with your body. Now remember, we told you to plant your feet down. Look down. Literally look down. As your eyes are closed, look down at this light body, at your feet in the soil, on the leaves, on the branches, in this forest. Now, slowly rise your head back up, but set the intention that the mountain is in front of you. Slowly, as you look at your feet, rise your head back up with your eyes still closed, with the mountain in front of you, with the intention that that mountain is in front of you. Now, everybody, walk up that mountain. As you're walking up this mountain with your light body in this forest, with all of these trees and beautiful light and woods, say your prayer in your mind's eye. Say a prayer in your mind's eye, or you can say it out loud as you're walking. Remember, you're actually there. Talk to God right now. What do you want from God? Be honest. Yell at God if you want to. It's fine. Get it out. Ask Source what you need to ask, or just talk to Source. Source, I'm just grateful I'm here. Source, thank you for guiding me. Source, thank you for being here with me when things are scary and when things are calm. Speak to Source. As you're walking up this mountain, set your intentions, your prayers now. And trust that the moment you're done praying, trust that the moment you're done setting intentions, trust that the moment you're done talking to God, you suddenly become aware that you're on the mountain's peak. First, remember, we were walking up that mountain. As we were walking up, we were setting our intentions and praying. And then within that same breath, that same blink, after you got done talking to God, you looked around and you're at the peak of the mountaintop. So now everybody, Once you get done talking to God, you don't have to stop talking to God now that we're saying this, but we're saying this for direction. So when you do get done, you follow this guidance. Once you get done talking to God and you realize, oh my, I'm at the mountain's peak. Look around literally with your head, with your eyes closed. Look around the mountain's peak. Look how far things are. Look how high you are. Look around, literally. Actually look around and visualize this. You're at this mountain's peak. Now visualize a nice amount of area where you can lay down after you get done talking with sorts. So now that you're done talking, you're looking around, you're moving your head slowly. Now, if you want to bring a sleeping bag here, if you want to make a tent here, if you want to visualize a campfire here, make this place cozy for you. Visualize all these things that will make you cozy. If all you need is a big crystal or a pillow and a cover, then just visualize those things. But now we're on this mountain's peak. You visualize yourself laying down. If you visualize a tent, visualize yourself going into the tent and laying down in your sleeping bag or in your cover on your pillow. Lay down. Lay down. And now what we're going to experience is, remember, when our eyes is closed seemingly in what we call this realm or this world, our eyes is open there. Now, when we enter this realm of relaxation and lay down in our tents or in our covers on the top of this mountain peak, and we close our eyes, visualize your eyes closing as if you were going to sleep. Visualize that light body's eyes closing on that mountain's peak as you lay down. As your eyes are closing, open your eyes here. As those eyes are closing, open your eyes here. Welcome to the vision quest. You have now did a technique where you've integrated your light body with this body. You have now done one of the most powerful techniques where you integrate the light body with this body. Now you and your light body, you and your higher self are the same. Now, not for one moment do we ever want to hear any of you say, I'm calling on my higher self. Never for a moment say you're calling on your higher self anymore. Why? Because you are your higher self now. You allowed your higher self to enter the vision quest and become you. We're going to answer this quick question. My stomach has been hurting all day and I feel so weak. Why? It's because you have experienced a lot of energy, a lot of power. And because that you're here, that lets us know that. So you're experiencing a lot of energy and you're being birthed. You're being birthed. You're being birthed. And sometimes our body will communicate this to us in a symbolic way. So right now, money or Moni, right now, affirm to yourself that you feel not pain. Right now, affirm to yourself, say, I feel not pain. Right now, affirm to yourself that the reason I feel not pain is because it's not possible. Say, the reason I feel not pain is because it's not possible. And then thirdly, say, I am the abundant child of God. And so it is. You remind your body that it's okay to feel, but you also remind your body that you are the commander. You are the captain. If you all enjoyed what just happened, if you all felt that light body close its eyes and your light body come into this body, type 33s in the chat. If you all love what just has been experienced and you all participated in that and you love it, type 33s in the chat. If you all see what was miraculous about what just happened, type 33s in the chat. If you all now see, remember, now we're asking another question because we see the 33s. If you all now see the Son of God, not in me, but in you, not the Son as S-O-N, the sonship, S-U-N, the light, the power, the love, the unification, the oneness. If you see that, not just in me, but in yourself, type 33s in the chat. New question. If you see the sonship, Child of God, not just in me, but in yourself. Type 33s in the chat. Remember, you type 33s. So no longer say you're calling on your higher self, God's child, because you are your higher self. No longer are you going to say heaven is in a place so distant because you're experiencing bliss now. No longer are you going to bash or judge another or argue or even enable. Let's say you don't bash or judge or argue with people. Now it's not the time to enable it either, even with your eyes. If you're on TikTok or any of your social medias and you see a fight, you're scrolling past it, you're not looking at it. Remember, what you see is what you are now that we anchored all of this energy. Now, God is saying the ball is in your court, LeBron. The ball is in your court, D-Wade. The ball is in your court, Kyrie. The ball is in your court, Michael Jordan. You're the GOATs of today. The ball is in your court. We have given you everything to be successful. Now, remember this. Kyrie with the rock. Y'all, Kyrie with the rock, y'all. Now, you have all the means to be successful. See, yesterday we talked about techniques and the knowingness of what Christ consciousness is. It's no coincidence that day 7, we were to embody it. Does that make sense, everybody? Did that fly over your heads? Yesterday we talked about what Christ consciousness is. But today we embodied it. Does that make sense, everybody? Type 33s if that makes sense, everybody. Type 33s if you now get why we talked about Christ consciousness yesterday, because we were to embody it today. Type 33s if it all makes sense. Remember, type 33s. If you type 33s, now remember, now, no longer are you ever going to say, no longer are you ever going to fix your lips to say, Jesus was the only Christ being. Mother Mary was the only Christ being. Krishna or Yogananda was the only Christ being. You better include yourself now. You better include yourself now. There's literally a verse. There is literally a verse in a specific religion where they say Yeshua was talking. And you know what Yeshua said in that verse? You shall do what I do and more. It doesn't get more simple than that, right? Right? Does that make sense? It doesn't get more simple than that. People try to make think pieces around certain verses like that. But the verse literally is, you shall do what I do and more. Now we are in the and more. Yep, it's even in the Bible. You shall do what I do. It's literally a verse from Yeshua, as they say. You shall do what I do and more. What does that mean, everybody? In order to do what the Christ did, you have to be the Christ. To do more than what the Christ did, you have to be the Christ. In all those prophecies, if you don't like the term Christ, say God's will. Refer to each other as God's will. Say, hey, God's will, instead of brother or sister. Instead of king or queen, say, hey, God's will, how you doing? All of us is the second coming. Every last one of us. Everybody that participated, even the people that didn't participate, even the people that scrolled past. All they need, remember the saying, faith of a mustard seed? It even translates into technology. If they seen the Son of God for a millisecond, just a quick scroll, they're activated. That's how powerful you are. If they see this child of God for a millisecond, there's hundreds of thousands of people scrolling. All they have to do is see me for 1 millisecond and they're activated. Especially now, even before we did the techniques together, especially now that this presence is here. Especially now since this presence, all you need to do is see me for 1 millisecond and your life will change. All these people need to see is you for 1 millisecond and your life will change. Alrighty? Everybody, if you feel love, if you feel loved, type 33s in the chat. If you feel like we were just a part of something powerful, type 33s in the chat. If you feel that presence, type 33s in the chat. We need to see where y'all are. We need to interact with y'all. If y'all feel that presence, if you feel that love, type 33s. Yes, things have now changed. What we just did today shifted the course of everything. If forever one moment the dark had some plan, some superior plan, what we just did negated it. What we just did was retire the ego and say, no, no longer shall you have power over our children. No longer should you have power over us. No longer. For the Son of God is here. The sonship. All of us. We are the child of God. People wanted a miracle. You have one. So now, because God sent you a miracle, now you look at yourself and you say, okay, I got what I wanted. Now, what are you going to give? How are you going to share this information? Right now, everybody should be thinking about how they're going to share this with the people, because we're still going to be live. We still have a lot of live to go, because remember, this is going to be the longest live we did. We still have a lot to go. But right now, we're going to hold space. Right now, we're going to have a moment of silence for 11 seconds. We're going to count. Right now, we're going to have a moment of silence for 11 seconds. And within this 11 seconds, I need everybody in unison to think about, or in their mind's eye, bring forth the presence of, how am I going to share this with others? I need everybody, once we start this moment of silence for 11 seconds, I need everybody to think about how they're going to share this with others. That pineapple core. I knew I blended one of them together. So, everybody, get ready to start thinking about how you're going to share this information with others. Because now it's not just about holding this information for yourself. All right? So here we go. We're going to start counting. In this 11 seconds, this moment of silence, we're going to count with our hands. All right? In this moment of silence, think about and be in your mind's eye how you're going to share this. All right? Ding, 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 ding. Allow that essence, that knowingness. If someone popped up in your mind, you're like, why did they pop up in my mind? Understand that it's for bringing forth love to them as well. All right, everybody. Let's do another quick Q&A. Everybody, let's do another quick Q&A. Type some questions in the chat. We'll answer it. And for all the other light workers, if you know you have the answers, peace unto you, Rob. If you know you have the answers to a specific question and Nadiie is intentionally not answering it, it's because Nadiie sees that your soul has it. So it's time for you to step up. So now if you have any question about what we just experienced, it doesn't have to be a question that has nothing to do with the topic at hand. You know, if you have a question about what we just experienced, if you want to learn about something new, or you have a question about something just in general, ask it now. Quick Q&A. Quick Q&A. If you have any question in the comments, let me see it. If you have any question, what is heavy on your heart? Venus, can you sing the vibrations that you sang in the beginning so I can remember? All right. Higher, the higher 3 chakras. Ooh. Ooh. The lower 3 chakras. Om. 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 Ah. All right. Liam, what will the entity CERN try to do? Liam, what will the entity CERN trying to release? The entities they were trying, the CERN are spawn of Atlantis. Atlantis sent portal energy down into the earth, which caused tectonic shifts, which caused earthquakes. CERN said, all right, so if they sent it down, it didn't work, we're going to send it up. But CERN has no power because of what we just did. So focus not on what they are, because they have no power anymore. They never did. Rob, what lifetimes were we in together? There was one that came up, Rob, but that one is so much of a shock on a public platform. Just DM me. Third kind. Do you play instruments? Yes, we do. We play guitar, we play piano. We're actually a musician. So everybody, when you're streaming services, and we don't just make it like spiritual music that people are like, oh, that's very spiritual. No, it's like music is you be like, why isn't this person famous? Why isn't this person, on the radio everywhere? We make music. Our name is Nadiie Black, Nadiie Go on your favorite streaming service. We're out literally on every single streaming service. Go on YouTube if you want to listen to it for free. Type in Nadiie Black, Nadiie Black. Y'all know how to spell black. And everybody, make sure after this class is over, because this is the last class, listen to Why We Fear. Listen to my album, Why We Fear. Why? Is it just because you want people to listen to your music? No. Because me and my brother, I'm Famous Black, we created an album called Why We Fear It. Fear stands for Find Everyone and Rise. It's literally the continuation of the light. How we start the album off is, heaven is not in a place so distant, for the miracle resides in you. But the whole album, when you listen to it, you'll be like, oh, this song is hard. Oh, this song should be on the radio. Oh, this song... We understand that people value teaching like this in podcasts, but God knows that you're not going to be listening to teachings in podcasts 24/7 of your life. We know we like music, so God said, okay, Nadiie, we gave you the gift of gab. We gave you the gift of creation and sound alchemy. So now make a mastery course and an album. So when people even listen to one song or the album, because we recommend you listen to the entire album, because it's a story, literally is a story, a masterclass. The album is Why We Fear. Go on YouTube, your Apple Music, Spotify, everything. Type in Nadiie Black, my name, Nadiie Black, and listen to the album Why We Fear. We don't care if you listen to any of the other albums. My older album, like I have 4 albums. My first one, we were still learning this stuff, so you can literally see the progression. We was using profanity, very vulgar, and then now, as we go into Why We Fear, Why We Fight Everybody and Rise, that's everybody's homework. Everybody's homework here is listen. God is also saying, go listen to Why We Fear after this, because it's a very spiritual album, and the teachings that we give you here is actually there as well. So to answer your question, third kind, yes, I do. So make sure you listen to that, and you'll hear. JoJo's Miracle. Remember, we're in a Q&A segment. Ask any questions. Should I continue my research on Libra? What you must understand about any form of zodiac signs, everybody, is what we just did is oneness and Christ consciousness and embodied. You are one with every single zodiac sign. You are one with every single star alignment. You are one. Yeshua did not say, oh, that's only for Capricorns. That's not for me. Yeshua said, I'm one with all of them. I'm one with everything. Christ consciousness says we're one with all things. So if you watch a video about astrology and they say this is for Libras and you're not a Libra, if you like what was said about the Libra energy, then accept that for yourself. Don't say, oh, that's not for me, that's for Libras. Or, oh, that's not for me, that's for Aries. I'm a Capricorn. They wasn't talking about Aries. But then Capricorn come along. Let's say you don't like what the Capricorn reading was. Don't be like, Capricorns suck. Man, Capricorn's going through it today. No. You are one with every single zodiac sign. We just did a technique where you're Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is leaving nothing on the table. So because you're one, if you like what this particular reading for this sign says more than that one, then go for that one. This is the technique that Yeshua showed me. And when I started looking at it through that lens, because he was like, yo, we're all one. I was like, my life got tremendously better. I don't look up readings and stuff anymore for that type of stuff because, you know, it's not needed. It's within me. But when I did, it helped. We got Caleb. Yep. Caleb. Let me see. Do you play an? Should I continue? All right. So hold on. Raisha. It's crazy because if your name really is Raisha, my sister's name is Raisha. So that's why I was like, huh? Why do people want to see the eclipse so bad? That's actually a good question. Well, one of the main reasons is, in its most symbolic form, the eclipse simply is shining and shedding light on something differently. So what we're doing is we're utilizing this energy that the collective is putting forth towards this eclipse. The God alarm just went off. We're embodying this energy. We're utilizing the collective energy, the collective consciousness energy that they're putting forth towards this eclipse to say, listen, yes, this is a mastery course for this eclipse, but this is also a mastery course for life. So as much energy as you're putting into the eclipse, put it into becoming Christ consciousness, which we just did today. Everybody literally just became the Christ. Because we already were the Christ. So it really isn't you becoming the Christ, it's you remembering that you already were. So what we just did was a technique of remembrance. Everybody that participated, where we all now know, okay, yeah, I am the Christ. So that's what we're utilizing the eclipse energy. Caleb, how will we bring people together as one if they don't have common interest in seeing in this world? That's perfectly fine. You meet people where they are. Yeshua went to strip clubs. Yeshua went to where the prostitutes were. Yeshua went to all those places to bring light. If you aren't going to bring light to the dark caves, who will? So if people don't get it, learn how to speak their language. Yeshua didn't go to the prostitutes and say, oh, beloved one, oh, you are the child of God and light. No, he spoke how they spoke. He said, I know, I'm going to learn your language. I'm going to figure out how I can get across to you. So if you find people that don't have, commonality in perception, figure out what y'all do have commonality and perception in. And what you will find out and figure out is it's the language. Y'all both speak the same language, right? Y'all both speak English or whatever language you speak, right? Well, learn how to bridge with that. May that be your foundation. Our common ground is we speak the same tongue. Now that we speak the same tongue, let me figure out where I can bridge from this. We got Tabitha. Even though I'm awake, I still have an addiction that I can't stop. Tabitha. I'm not going to affirm that you can't stop it. What you just did, Tabitha, is why you feel like you're addicted. You are the one that got in your own way. What that statement serves to be said is, even though I'm awake, period. Or you can just even take out the even though. I'm awake, Tabitha, period. The moment you affirm something, listen, because remember divine will and free will. Right? Remember divine will and free will. Free will is not just choice. Free will is, in the journey, you can do what you want. But in divine will, there's no such thing as free will. In divine will, it's no matter what you do in the journey, somehow, some way, you're going to make it back home to God. That's why God cares not about the journey, only the destination. God doesn't care about your free will because there's divine will. God doesn't care if you become a warlock, a witch, a priest, or a spiritual leader because God knows at the end of the day, somehow, some way, you're going to transmute all of that energy and become the best light worker ever. Because per your divine will, it's you coming home. So Tabitha, in order for you to align yourself with that which is this bright energy, this truth, you can't get in your own way. Because remember, in the journey, this life that we experience is called the journey, the odyssey. But when we transcend, that's the destination. God governs the destination. God doesn't govern the journey. Our free will, we govern the journey. You can ask God, but even though God doesn't govern the journey, God appointed that to us. But if we need guidance, if we say, God, help us with this journey, or God, guide me to seeing this journey as you see it, then God can step in. But if you say, I'm struggling with an addiction, God says, and so it is. My child affirmed it. God is not going to step over your own language. God is not going to step over your commands because God gave you dominion. God gave you power. God gave you commanding energy. So if you affirm something in this journey, God says, I wouldn't have said that, but and so it is. But if you just say, but Tabitha, all you have to do is forgive yourself, forgive all others, and then restate the question. Or restate the statement just out loud. Be like, you know what? I forgive myself for even saying that. I'm awake. I'm not addicted to anything. How can any child of God be addicted? I am that which is sources abundance. Even if you don't believe it, still say it. Because it's a truth that supersedes anything of this world. And when you start saying it enough, you're going to start combating and retiring those lies that the ego has given you saying you are addicted. And when you say the truth enough, you allow God to step in and say, all right, listen, source is here, the abundance. Let me remind you that you aren't struggling. David, the tone in my inner voice changed because you embodied Christ consciousness. Louis Angel, hey. Venus, we're in a quick Q&A. Infinite gratitude and the Christ vibration. I remember the one you said Jesus' presence sounded like. Yes, you're listening. You're listening. My gift has been 20. We're so very grateful. Thank you. Excited to tune into that. Oh, we love you so much, Venus. Thank you. What does F? What the F? It means what the forgive. F, when we say F, we mean forgive. If you ever say F you to somebody, transmute that F you to forgive you. Forgive you. You know, make that your new F you. If you hit, you know, when people hit their toe, and when they stop cussing, they say words like fudge. Say words like forgive now. Program yourself to say forgive more. Christina, how can I remember my dreams? Christina, I'm going to give you a practical solution, all right? So you have to build on something called spirit memory to remember your dreams, all right, Christina? So spirit memory. To anchor spirit memory, every single night before you go to sleep, you set an intention of where you want to go and what you want to experience. Every single night, do not miss a night. I don't care if it's God, guide me to going to the most loving realm as possible, or God, guide me to going to a realm that serves for me. Every single night, you set an intention of where you want to go. Then, after you set that intention, throughout the day, count your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 times throughout the day in segments. Make it a routine. This is one practical way, right? And then you couple that practical way with looking at, if you see clocks, if you're around anywhere with clocks, look at the clock, study the clock, look away from it. Look at the clock, study the clock, look away, and do it for 3 times, right? The reason is because you want that to be a part of your routine, because your dreams are of your subconsciousness. So if you make it a part of your routine to count your fingers and look at clocks, what happens is when you go in your dream, because you made it a part of your routine, and dreams are of your subconsciousness, and now that routine is seeped within your consciousness, in your dream, you're going to count your hands. I'm telling you this because I've done it. You're going to count your hands, but what you're going to realize is you have more than 5 fingers. You're going to realize you only have 4 fingers or less than 5 fingers, because the dream realm is different. So when you finally build that routine and you're in your dream, you're going to actually count your fingers, because that's my routine. You're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, boom, lucid. Because what's going to happen is you're going to come to because to lucid dream, you have to come to a logical understanding of what's happening. Remember what we said, combine logic with spirituality. To lucid dream, you have to come to a logical understanding of what's happening. When you count your fingers in your dreams, you're going to realize you have more than 5 fingers. You're going to say, my routine has been, I'm only counting 5 fingers. So if I count more than 5 fingers, I am not where my routines are. So therefore, I'm not in physical reality. I'm now in my dream. That's what lucid dreaming happens. Lucid just means aware. So now you're aware that you're in a dream. So to remember your dream is to build on spirit memory. So doing these techniques, looking at clock, and the same thing with clocks. If you happen to find a clock in a dream and you look at it, you turn away, and you look at it again, it's going to be a complete different time. These are practical things. So set your intention before you go to sleep of where you want to go, Christina. Also, when you set your intention of where you want to go, Set a intention that I shall remember my dreams. I shall remember my visions. So set your intention of where you want to go, what dimension, what frequency. Then set a intention before you go to sleep of I shall remember it all. Then make sure throughout your day, don't hyperfixate. Don't hyperfixate on it. But just throughout your day when you got some downtime, just count your fingers and then go on about your day. If you see a clock, look at a clock a few times, and then go on about your day. Make it normal, like a habit or routine, because you're going to do that in the spirit realms and the dream realms, and you're going to see some power. So then, every day that you wake up now, okay, Christina? Now, every day that you wake up, don't immediately get out the bed, okay? Every day you wake up, sit in your bed for 10 minutes. If you have work, make sure you set enough aside some time, enough time to do this. Lay down, and when you're laying in your bed, set aside at least 10 minutes, or what feels like 10 minutes, to just think about what you experienced. Christina, all you have to do is remember the very last part of your dream. You don't got to remember the full dream. Don't hyperfixate on the idea that you have to remember the full dream and you have to remember it now. No, Christina. All you have to do is when you wake up, don't move. When your consciousness comes back in your body, don't move for about 10 minutes. And just set an intention of, what did I just dream? All you have to do is remember the last part. I don't care if it was, I was eating a McDonald's hamburger and you woke up. Just remember that. And then you start building on that. Every night, just remember the last part. And then throughout the day, you'll get epiphanies about what happened throughout the dream. Then, when you're remembering the very last part of the dream enough, start journaling. All you need to do is journal one good time. Because eventually, you're going to remember a nice chunk amount. When you do this technique we're giving you, eventually you're going to remember a nice chunk of your dream. The moment you start remembering a nice chunk of your dream, like in that 10-minute process, like it's even good for, let's say, like you have your phone close to you and you don't want to write down because it's too much energy. Like, make a voice recorder and be like, and just talk. Like, this is what happened in my dream. All you have to do, and then when you listen to it, make sure you write it down at least. So record it first if it's easier, and then transcribe it. But if you have enough wherewithal and mental energy to, after that 10 minutes of laying down, you absorb in the dream, then you can get up slowly, find some paper, and journal what you experienced. All you need to do is make a dream journal document one dream, and all that does is flood what we call spirit memory and your essence. So the more you continuously do this, you're going to remember your full dreams. I remember every single dream. I remember every single astral experience and spirit experience using this technique. I promise you. Rob, partial bright light, purest of blue, project my brethren, and let our flames reunite. Praise, peace. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Empress, if it's meant for you to take, then take what resonates. Moonchild, so are you going outside tomorrow or staying inside? Tomorrow I'm going to be staying inside. But I'm going into a building because hold on, just look. This is going to be a quick answer because of the question. Have you experienced sleep paralysis? Yes, because I astral project. To astral project, you have to experience sleep paralysis. But I'm not going to be going outside, not because it's bad or anything. But because it just doesn't serve for me, because I'm going to be in the spirit realms a lot. So first, I'm going to go, because I have another job where we show the light. So we're going to go to that job, hold space, and that job is in a building. After we are in that job, holding space for everybody, then when we get back home, we're going to be in the spirit realms. We're not even going to be outside a lot. But what you must anchor is, if you have the wherewithal and the mental energy and the spiritual energy to go outside, perfect. But know that nature speaks. Anytime there is an eclipse, all the animals are silent. Everybody is silent. Everybody is holding space. There's a big reason for that. All things in nature, they stop and they relax. There's a very big reason for that. So we're not saying that you have to do any particular thing, stay inside or go outside. We're not saying any of this. But all we're saying is all the animals are going to be silent and with their families on the day of the eclipse. And that's all we're saying. Is deja vu living the dreams you had? No, deja vu is... I'm so grateful you asked that question. Deja vu is a parallel reality merging and becoming one with yours. Anytime you experience deja vu, that means you just integrated an entire reality. You didn't just walk through a portal. No, you integrated a reality, a different version of where you are. You integrated it. Now you're experiencing it in this life. That's what deja vu is. Have you ever experienced sleep paralysis? Yes, because I astral project. Moonchild, Grand Rising, gods and goddesses, peace unto you. Where do you live, Nadiie? I live in the light. I'm in the world, not of the world. I'm one call away. I'm one text away. I'm where you are. See not the flesh. Christ being. I'm scared to astral travel because of entities and stuff. I developed a technique where I astral project through dreams. You're able to collapse the dream realm into the astral realm with like portal energy, right? And that's because to do that, you have to get really good at lucid dreaming, and you have to get really good at astral projecting. Stand alone, though. But when I started to do this technique, I stopped astral projecting for a very long time traditionally. So about 2 days ago, I astral projected traditionally. And it's been a while. When I say a while, I'm talking about like probably like few years. It's been a few years since I astral projected traditionally. I can't even say, well, probably within this year, because I remember some other times I've astral projected traditionally this year. Within this year, I probably astral projected traditionally maybe like 3-4 times. All the other times it's been through dreams and through other means. So when we was doing it traditionally this last time, about 2 days ago, some weird, muck energy started to come up, and like fear of like hurting the soul and stuff like that started to come up, right? And a lot of energy started to happen. A lot of fear, like you're saying, entities and everything. A lot of fear. I was like, where's this fear coming from? I always do this. So, but I'm a spirit warrior, I'm a spirit warrior. So I'm like, I'm gonna see it through, because I'm gonna get to the bottom of why this fear is coming up. Because my relationship with fear isn't like everybody else's relationship with it. I don't give it power. I just recognize when it's there. Fear is simply a tool to remind you that you aren't in alignment. So I'm like, why aren't I in alignment right now? So I seen it through. We was traveling through all the universes really fast, loud blaring in our ears, body vibrating, and then we shot through into the astral realms. The moment I went to the astral realms, I got up. It felt like I was moving through quicksand. And I was like, yep, this is how we do it. This is how we astral project traditionally. Yeah, I haven't done it in so long, my body felt kind of weird doing it that way again. And God talked to me. The moment I came through, God said, now, Nadiie, look around you. I looked around, and God said, do you see any entities here? Do you see any terrible beings and demons here and all of this? And I said, no. And God said, exactly. It was only you getting in your own way. It was only you. All that fear and, oh my gosh, you're so, and I don't want to, and all that fear that came up, Nadiie, that was all of this world. The moment you came into the realms of the spirit, you astral projected, nothing happened. You actually started glowing, right? Yeah, I did start glowing. Exactly. Trust that when you know you are of the light, all knows you are of the light. And remember, what you see is what you are. That's the divine law. When you know you're of the light, the dark is going to try its absolute best to leave you alone. Why? This goes back to my story when I met the Baphomet. The reason why I told the Baphomet, look at me in my eyes, is because I understand that I am God's son. So the divine law, what you see is what you are. If the Baphomet was to look at me in my eyes with his eyes open, it would then transcend. Because when you see the light, you are the light. So the beings of darkness, they don't want to be around the light at all. Because they know that divine law, what you see is what you are. If I affirm that this being is great and this being is heaven, I'm going to go to heaven. So these beings of darkness, they don't want to go to those paradise places. So they just are going to put the blindfolds up. So, yeah, the evil, the dark, all that type of stuff, it tries its absolute best to get away from you unless you hold on to it. So when I first astral projected and I came through about 2 days ago, the traditional way, yeah, God said, look around. All that is negative, it won't dare come close to you, Nadiie, because it knows who you are. so you know who you are. Wait, in the astral realms you meet God? Yes, in the astral realms there's many. Oh, look at my husky, Demandi. You want to go outside, buddy? Yep, let's go outside. In the astral realms, there's many realms, and you can meet your relatives that transcended. You can meet Yeshua and all of these beings. These beings, like, so what this, I'm going to explain to y'all what the realms are, right? You have the ethers. The ethers is a thought form realm. That's like level 1, right? Then you have the astral realms, level 2. The astral realms is a set amount of dimensions. And then when you get to the spirit realms, the way we operate here, time and hierarchy, all that doesn't exist. It really isn't levels. There really isn't numbers assigned to it. But we're going to try to explain it in such a way that makes sense for you. Remember, that's why Yeshua spoke in parables, because there's no human context or words I can just explain what the spirit realms is. So all we can do is bring parables and metaphors. We can use analogies, like it's like this or it's like that. Doesn't mean it is, but it's the closest we can get to until you do it for yourself. That's why we say do it for yourself. The astral, so the first level 1 is the ethers, is the thought form realm, right? Everything goes in terms of thought. A lot of low beings go there, but also a lot of angels and stuff go there, because it goes like this: physicality, ethers, astral realms. The astral realms is a set amount of realms. And then from the astral realms, you go to the light realms, and then the heaven realms, and then a place called God's domain. In God's domain, there's this giant womb-like portal. And when you go there, you're just in the isness. The goal is going back to the isness. I actually went to God's domain maybe twice. Crying is one of the most powerful places you would ever go. I literally was seeing spirits go into God. I was literally seeing a line of spirits. Like, you know, the movie Soul, how there was that line of spirits going into the light. I literally seen a line of spirits going into God. It was a lot. It was a lot going on. But that's called God. But God's domain doesn't only look like that. It morphs to what you are. So when you're in the astral realms and you're in a specific frequency in the astral realms, you're able to call on some beings. Like, for example, every time because I'm Christ conscious, because I'm the Son of God, as are you, for we are one. Yes, Yeshua exists. I gotta make sure I get my charger. When people say Jesus, you never been to your Akasha Records? Yes, I have. I have my Book of Life. I actually have a big story on that. And actually, I think we went on that. That might have been day 4 or day 5 where we talked about actually how to get to the Akashic Records. And to get to your Akashic Records, you need something called the Book of Life. You can't get the Book of Life until you, 1, transcend, or 2, you go into the afterlife. I've done both because I've resurrected before. These knots and stuff on my forehead, all of this is it's not for show. Yes, I've quote unquote died in this life and came back. It's not fun though. It's not something to marvel at, but anyways, in the astral realms, when you align yourself with a specific frequency, you can meet these beings. You can meet anybody, and you can meet God. Because remember, God is everywhere. God is everywhere. So yes, you can meet God and talk to God. And in the astral realms, it's easier to talk to God because you don't have fear and all of those type of things. They just leave. When you're in the astral realms, like remember I was saying I was feeling fear as I was astral projecting, but when I actually shot through, it all disappeared. Okay, let me answer one more question, and then we're going to continue with this. Let's see. Have you seen the movie Interstellar? No. Do you believe in Jesus? Okay, that's going to be the last question I answer. Do you believe in Jesus? When people say the word Jesus, they think of the man. Yeshua himself, A.K.A. Jesus, or Yeshua. They would call him that. Yeshua, there's many names. There's Yeshua, there's Yeshua, there's Jesus, there's Wanikia, and the native tribes. You remember, Yeshua traveled the world. When he went to the native culture, like Native Americans, we called him Wanikia. So there's many names. When people say the name Jesus, they think of a man. Yeshua himself, exactly, same story. Yeshua himself would tell you, stop identifying me with the man because I literally transcended past it. The point of me taking my body with me was so you don't identify with it. Because people in their ego, Yeshua is so powerful, he knows how the ego operates. So he said, if I would have left my body there and I would have been in the spirit realm showing people my spirit body, they would have been worshiping humans. They would have said, oh my gosh, look what humans can do. So Yeshua was like, no. I want you to stop identifying with the body so much. I'm going to take it. Right now, it's not about Yeshua. So when you say, do you believe in Jesus? If you have the connotation that you think he is the body, then no. But if you know that Jesus evolved into the Christ, which is the consciousness that we all are, then yes. That meant he was a man that evolved into the Christ consciousness. That already was it, but just showed us that a human is capable of doing it. Right. So, all right, we're done with the Q&A. Remember from the day before yesterday, we got some topics that we wanted to cover. I want to cover one of them today, right? And the one of them was a Sirius star system significance for today. All right. So type 33s in the chat if you're ready to hear about how the Sirius star system is significant to today's time, to right now, to what's going on. Type 33s in the chat if you're ready to hear about the Sirius star system and how it's important today. All right, I'm going to go grab my charger because this is going to be important for y'all. Okay, let me go grab my charger. I see y'all. If y'all staying, that's how y'all know y'all serious. Okay. Let me just use this charger. There it is. Yay! I found it. Alrighty. Okay. I want to ascend. Empress, the first step to ascension is realizing you're already home. So you already ascended. That's the first step. So, why is the Sirius star system important? Well, what is the Sirius star system? We're going to look at everything from its most symbolic form, all right? The Sirius star system, remember, we view it as like a feline energy, as like a lion energy, as a very powerful energy. The Sirius star system, in its symbolic form, represents decision, deciding, intuition, discernment. That's what it represents. Decisions, deciding, intuition, and discernment. That's what the Sirius star system represents. So the reason why beings of Sirius and these lion people and all these things are bringing forth their awareness and presence to us today is because this new life that we're entering is all about making choices, deciding, being intuitive, loving, and having discernment, knowing what to transmute, knowing what to let go. Okay? That's why the Sirius star system is being so heavily influenced across this planet right now. Because the Sirius star system is about deciding, discernment, love, intuition, knowingness. It's just making decisions. That's why we view them as like lion people. That's feline energy. It's like, you can't tell a cat what to do. You can't tell a cat what to do. That's what the Sirius star system is. You can't tell them what to do because they know who they are. They are going to do what serves for them, and what serves for them, they know is going to be abundant. So you have to align. That's why. It's a very simple answer. That's why. So we're saying be more like a lion. Stand in your commander energy and allow no one like the beings. The reason why the beings of Sirius evolved to that high, such a level, is because they didn't allow nobody to push them around. They stood in their commander energy, that lion energy, that feline energy. You can't tell a cat what to do here. If you can't tell a physical cat that don't have all the gifts, if you can't tell a physical cat what to do here, how do you think a primordial type being, or a being that is so much involved within the light, that is aligned with lion energy and feline energy, how do you think that being is going to operate? You really can't tell that being what to do. If you can't command a cat, sit, the cat's going to be like, no. How do you expect an entire star system of the advancement of that to act and operate? You can't put a leash on a cat. You can try, but the moment you take it off and the cat realizes it's free, it's going to revert back to normal. It's the same thing with the Sirius star system. So the Sirius star systems today, all the beings of Sirius that speak through me today, they're saying, listen, the reason why we evolved is because anytime something didn't feel right, we stopped. Anytime we wanted to make a decision, we made it. We didn't decide in such an indecisive manner. We made a decision based on intuition. We made a decision based on truth. No one could put a leash on us. We're independent, but we're one. We're oneness. We're one within our independence. So all the beings of the star system, the Sirius stars, they're independent. One being has a different light than this being, but they're one. They all know. They don't say, I'm from Kansas, or I'm from Texas, or I'm from this place. They say, I'm from Earth. If they were from Earth, they wouldn't say they're part of these separate countries. They would say, I'm from Earth. That's how it would be. So you have to have that level of knowingness. Beings of the Sirius stars, they don't say, oh, I'm from segment 1, 2 of the Sirius. No, they say, I'm from Sirius. So you have to have that level of, when somebody says, where are you from? And you say, I'm from God. I'm from the light. That's where I'm from. If you talk about my physical body, well, my physical body is on Earth. The physical body is from Earth. But who I am, I'm from the light. You have, every time somebody asks you that question, you have to respond that way. That's how the Sirius beings will respond. I'm from Sirius. That's why they're important. Because now it's about making clear decisions. Type 33s in the chat if that made sense. Type 33s in the chat if that all made sense. It's very simple, right? We keep telling you the light is simple. Type 33s if what we just said made sense. We keep telling you the light is simple. It doesn't have to be complex. And people need to start valuing the simplicities of life, because God is very simple. It's very, very simple. The Sirius star system, they say, listen, you can't put a leash on us. We're standing on our commander energy. We're loving, and we're one. Even though we're independent, we're all one. All right, we don't have this separate mindset. And the reason why we all are in the knowingness, the reason why we're all in the knowingness of all there is, and so many people are infatuated with us, is because of this knowingness. So the Sirius star system says, listen, if we were on Earth, we wouldn't say, I'm from Texas or any of these places. I'm from Arkansas. I'm from California. We wouldn't say these places. That's so separate. That's so separate. We wouldn't even separate the planets or the countries. We wouldn't separate nothing. We would just say, I'm from Earth. And in truth, it's you're in the light. You're from the light. Somebody said, show your comments. Hey, let me know if you can see the comments, everybody. Let me know if y'all all can see the comments. Is it yes or no? Let me know if you see the comments. I see somebody say they didn't see the comments. Just making sure everybody's on the same page. You know how the technology is. Let me know if you can see the comments. Yes. Yes, okay, you can see the comments perfect. Just making sure. If there's some type of weird energy or glitches or something going on in the live, leave it and then come back, and I promise it will fix. By my name, I affirm it. All right. Now that we got done with that, we did a lot today, y'all. We did a lot today. We performed miracles on camera. We integrated our higher selves. We did so much. So right now, I need everybody to literally clap. Give themselves a round of applause. Y'all made it through. Bravo. Good day. Good day. Give themselves a round of applause, a pat on the heart, a pat on the back. Everybody appreciate. Because we didn't have some time to appreciate who we are. Right now, give yourself, remember the one Michael Jackson video? It's not loud enough. Give yourself a round of applause, everybody. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you. Okay? Everybody, on the count of 3, we're all going to say, I am grateful I exist. Okay? On the count of 3, we're all going to say, I am grateful I exist. Because we have to appreciate who we are. So much so do we bring forth our power in such an external way and give it away. Today, we're going to just appreciate who we are. Because we just did so much powerful activities. So much powerful energy. All right? On the count of 3, I am grateful I exist. 1, 2, 3. In unison now. I am grateful I exist. Very, very simple. Actually integrate that level of light. Integrate that wisdom within you. Okay? So very grateful for all of you. So very grateful for all of you. We made it through. This was the last day. This was 7. Remember, we went live for 7 days. Prepare for this. Everybody that just now joining or scrolling past or hasn't clicked on the video, we all integrated our higher selves. We all performed another miracle on camera. If you missed any other lives, remember, we went live for 7 days. Today's day 7, the 7th live. Click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance, and you'll see all the days, including today. You will see the days that you missed, and you'll see what's powerful about today. All right? So, also, remember, we understand that in these teachings that I know you love them, I know you love these teachings, but know that we understand that you're not going to always be listening to, podcasts and teachings and all of that 24/7. So God has guided us to make it in a tangible way as well. So my name is Nadiie Black, Nadiie, right? If you go on YouTube, Apple Music, or Spotify, or any of your streaming services, type my name, Nadiie Black, and listen to the album called Why We Fear. It's an acronym. It stands for Find Everyone and Rise. It literally is that album is these 7 days of 15 hours of teachings in 40 minutes. 15 hours of teachings and music, because God knows, all right, Nadiie. So God was like, all right, Nadiie, make a course, make a class, all right? In a tangible way that way. But also know that we have to make sure these people live by this. And for you to always integrate this information, so have reminders. So that's where the music comes in. And music is very powerful. Remember that all of that is sound alchemy. So that is Nadiie Black. Look that up on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. I don't care if you don't listen to the other albums, because the other albums you'll see, like my first album, I was very vulgar, using profanity, but I evolved. You'll see literally the evolution. The only album that really matters right now is Why We Fear. How we even start the album is, heaven is not in a place so distant, for the miracle resides in you. It's one of the most powerful albums you will ever listen to in this generation. And then I have another one coming soon, but right now let's not focus on all of that. Why We Fear. Listen to that. Because remember, we're not going to go live anytime soon, because we're going to be anchoring all. We went live collectively. We have over like 15, 16 hours of teaching. Collectively, over 15 to 16 hours of teaching. Okay? That's a lot to work with. That's a lot to siphon through. So we don't need to go live for a long time. But we will if it serves. So if there's some big pull for us to go live, and we know it serves, we will. But right now we have to rest. So to continue this live and this information, listen. What's my dog saying? He wants to come back in, but I got to finish this and I'm going to let him back in. He's a husky, so he's very vocal. So what we must anchor is, after these classes, after today, which is the 7th day, remember, click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance, and you'll go to my YouTube page where all of these lives will be posted. Also, you can click the link in my bio, and you'll see Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. And if you click on those, it'll take you directly to the album. So if you don't want to search and everything, just click the link in my bio on my page. You'll see Nadiie Black's guidance, and you'll also see Apple Music, Spotify. You just click on that, it will take you to this, because we need y'all to understand that this is a life. It's not something you just hear one day and then you just go live your life however you want to live. It's integration. But we know, God knows how Earth is. So we need reminders. So this album, Why We Fear, It's a reminder. It's one of the most powerful albums you will listen to. But it's not like it's just spiritual music and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so spiritual. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Why aren't they famous? It's like very, very good music. Because you can make, contrary to popular belief, you can make good music and still talk about the light. Like good music, like the natural music that people listen to in their day-to-day with the type of beats they use, with the type of terminology. You can use good music. Like, look at the 90s. They all made good music. And they wasn't talking about what they was talking about. And even people today, there's people that make good music that aren't of that craziness. So make sure you click the link in my bio. Not only go to Nadiie Black's guidance, but click the link in my bio and when you see Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, you click that. It will take you to one of the most powerful albums you will ever listen to, which is called Why We Fear. Listen to it in its entirety and then report back to me in my DMs and let me know how you feel about it. That's homework. That's y'all homework, okay? Y'all homework, everybody's homework is to click the link in my bio. When you see Apple Music, Spotify, or YouTube, find the one that you like. Let's say you want to listen to it for free. Listen to it on YouTube. Listen to Why We Fear. All you gotta do is listen to it one time. I'm not asking for millions and millions and plays. I'm saying one time, entire listen. That's your homework. And then you come to me, you do DM me how you feel about it. And I would talk to you. You can ask me questions about it. You can ask me questions about certain things. And then in your day-to-day, if you need a quick reminder, you can listen to one of the songs. One of the songs is called Hey Mama. It's dedicated to the Divine Mother and my own mother. And every time I perform, I got a show tonight at 9 as well. And we're performing this whole album. But even Hey Mama, every time we perform it, it's very, very beautiful. Everybody sings the song. The hook is, I don't need the money. I don't want the fame, I just need my mama. That will never change. Hey mama, mama, hey mama, mama, hey. Hey mama, mama, hey mama, mama, hey. I don't need the money, I don't want the fame. I just need my mama, that will never change. Hey mama, mama, hey mama, mama, hey. Hey mama, mama, hey mama, mama, hey. Might get that tatted for respect. This bird flew out the nest. See, it's very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. How y'all felt when y'all heard that? The entire album is just like, oh my gosh. It's like that album is like Bob Marley Exodus. I promise you. That album is like Bob Marley Exodus. I promise you. So make sure that's y'all's homework. I don't give a lot of homework. The only homework I have given y'all is what is the miracle? The miracle brings you back to 0 and says what? Choose again. So remember that. The only homework I've given you is this. It'll give you 3 things. What is the miracle? The miracle brings you back to 0 and says what? Choose again. The second homework that I've given you is remember this divine law. What you see is what you are. Live by that. The third homework that I've given y'all is listen to Why We Fear. My album. Our album. Listen to Why We Fear. Click the link in my bio. You'll see Apple Music, Spotify, and the YouTube. Click whichever one you want. You can listen to it. If you want to listen to it for free, click on YouTube. And listen to just the album. All you have to do is listen to it one time. I promise you, when you listen to it one time, you're probably not going to just listen to it one time. You're going to be like, this is too good. But because we understand this is the last day of teaching. In the live in this way, unless people in an overwhelming way say come back live. Because remember, April 1st is my first time going live with a public platform like this. I've been teaching on technology for over a year. I've been teaching in physicality, for 9 years. So collectively, I've been teaching for about 10, 11 years. And we understand that music, it cuts through. In music, you'll listen to it in your day-to-day. So listen to high vibration music. But when you listen to Why We Fear, my album, oh my gosh, it's not just high vibration music. It's great music. All right? So that's everybody's homework, okay? If that made sense for everybody, type 33s in the chat. If what we just said made sense, type 33s in the chat. If that all made sense, type 33s in the chat. Gotta make sure we're here. Because after I see these 33s, we're going to, how we weave everything together, integrate everything. We're going to do our divine prayer. Remember, I'm Native American, Sikh Sika. So we're going to say a prayer in our native tongue. And then we're going to continue the prayer in English. and then we're going to conclude. I'm going to ask how y'all feel about the service, and then we're going to go on about integrating this. And then all of y'all going to listen to that album, because that's the homework. All right. On the count of 3, everybody take one deep breath. Wolf Kai, what about what to eat? What about what to eat? I'll answer it real quick, because I did see it, but I was going to get to it. I probably was going to make a video on it, but because you asked Wolf Kai, because I did see that in the book, I was like, all right, there's the Sirius star system. We did go over Galactic Wars, and then I seen what to eat. That was the last one. What should you eat around this time? Eat light food. Breath is the first form of information you should be eating. Eat a lot of H3O2. So first, breath. So it's a fasting. So fast. Then after you fasted enough, eat H3O2. So eat. Get your water from your fruits. So eat watermelon. Eat cucumbers. Eat fruit. Get your water from your fruits. You want something light. You don't want it to heavy. Eat more salads. Right now, eat like the berries and nuts. Keep light. You don't want nothing heavy. Try to not get too much starch in your body or heaviness. If you want to, maybe one. If you want to have starch, 1 meal a day. 1 meal that might be heavy. But make sure that you combine fruits and stuff like that, because every meal you should be going to the restroom and making yourself not heavy. So that's what we should be eating now, especially now. It should be your entire life. You should be eating light food, things that don't make you feel so heavy. But especially right now, try not to eat heavy foods. All right, everybody. On the count of 3, take one deep breath, and we're gonna start this prayer. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Peace unto you. Thank you all. We're very grateful for your presence. My name is Nadiie. I am Sika. That means Blackfoot in English. Thank you. We are so very grateful for your presence and being with us. Today's live was very long, but we made sure we integrated it. I know all of you understand why we took our time with this live, as we say, or we were patient with the teachings. Now y'all all see why we were so patient with today's teachings. Why we were trying our best to, mend the relationship with certain people that may have been judging and hating, because we knew that it was going to get very, very powerful and deep, because we were integrating the light. We all integrated our higher self, so now y'all know why we took so much time trying to mend this bridge and this relationship for doubters and stuff, because it was like, listen, something powerful is happening, and I don't ever want you to feel like we didn't try. Before we enter and take that leap of knowingness, not leap of faith, a leap of knowingness, I tried to make sure that everybody knew, we tried our absolute best. We tried our absolute best to align you with that which is the truth. I didn't want nobody to feel left out. So I was willing to spend an hour on what think people will call a hater is. I was willing to, because I'm like, in the next hour, we're going to integrate the Christ. All right, so everybody gets it. Now everybody gets it, like, oh yeah, we did something very powerful. I get it, Nadiie. At first I might not have got it. I was like, why is he going in on the people so hard? Now I get it, because he loves them so much. That's why. So let's start this prayer. First, let me bring my dog back in. All right, Mr. Buddy, go lay down. Go lay down. Thank you. Alrighty, everybody. Let's start this prayer up. A.K.A. Pistituki. Ispamokinan. Nakaitisinan. Nakeki mutitinan. Nakokamoto sinan. Nena. Nakista. Kitsika komemo. Oh, tokinana pistituki. Nakaika kimasanan. Ikanapi. Nistoapi. Akanistua. Thank you, Source, for this beautiful day. We're so very grateful for this presence, for this anchoring of what is the light, this anchoring of all that is Christ, all that is bliss, all that is love within us. This releasing of structures, judgments, hates, pains, hurts, and all forms of stagnation, illusion. Now we will in all there is within us, becoming this light, for we are this light. As we anchor this process, this birthing process, this is a reminder, you are a reminder for us that we need not be birthed, for we have always been. This is a reminder that we need not become, for we have always been. Today was a remembrance that we are in heaven totally, in God's domain totally, currently, in this present moment, in this now, for all eternity. Today we anchor as the seventh day, as the last day of this life, this conclusion of all these teachings. Today is a day of integration. Today is a day of friendship. Today is a day of camaraderie, peace, love, and union. Thank you, Source, for guiding us to remembering these things. Source, moving forward, guide us to become our prayers. Source, moving forward, guide us to not only sin that which is the light outside of ourselves, but to become the answers that you distribute. Source, guide us to becoming our prayers, becoming our divine statements, the light there is, all there is. We're very grateful to hold space for ourselves and our brothers and our sisters, and we forgive ourselves and all others that feel like it's even possible to slip. For those that feel like they're going through addictions or going through hardships or feel like they don't have enough to survive or to plan, God, we ask that you distribute your glasses to each and every one of these beings so that they have more than just 20/20 vision, but the vision of the all, the vision of infinity, so they can see as you see, for you see us as abundant, for you see us, Source, as beings that have, not as beings that don't have. So today, moving forward, we call not on any angel, we call not on any spirit guide, we call not on any ancestor or animal totem or any higher self, because we have integrated them all. Today, the beings that we once worshipped, the beings that we once revered or prayed to, now call for gratitude and it's being sent our way. Now, all of the beings that are of the light that we once prayed to, angels, now they send love and gratitude and bow in our direction to say, listen, as guides, we were meant to guide you. Guide you to what? To becoming your own guide. Now we graduate. Now we throw our hats out up into the air as if we were in a graduation ceremony, because we have graduated. Now we are our best guides. Now we all collectively follow the law of the guides. With that being said, Source, we are very grateful. By my name, I affirm all that is said. And so it is. Everybody, can I get an and so it is in the chat? All right? Everybody, can I get an and so it is in the chat? Source Trust, can I get an and so it is in the chat? Everybody, can I get an and so it is in the chat? And so it is. Yay, we did it, y'all. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray! Before I get up out of here, everybody, how'd y'all feel about today's service? Be honest, be honest, be honest. Crown throbbing. How do you feel about today's service, everybody? Let me know how you feel. How'd you feel about it? Loved and happy you found your page. It is because I said so, LOL. It turned out mom was right. LOL. Very, very great live. I love it here. I love you. How do y'all feel about it? My dog wants me to play with him, my husky. He's so patient, though. Anytime I'm speaking with this authority and speaking of the light, my husky, he's very patient with me. But the moment I turn this live off, he's been running around, jumping on me. He's just waiting. Because, you know, his name is Solaris. It means of the sun. So you got it. Sorry I was a little late, but graceful for the little I received. Yes. In a while, we're going to be posting this... Oh, doggo, I know. He wants me to play with him. The moment I touch him and pet him, he's going to start screaming. Watch. Hey, buddy. It's okay. I told y'all. I said, see, he's so patient. He was waiting. He was like, the moment you let me go, I'm gonna go. That's a husky for y'all. It's okay, buddy. He just wanted me to pet him and love on him. All right, everybody. Oh, snap! The phone fell. Immediately. All right, everybody. Thank you. Make sure you click the link in my bio. If you missed any of today, once the video processes, then I'll upload it on my page. I post on my story when the next episode is live. So give me a few hours, and I'm gonna post when this is gonna be live. This episode, day 7. Yeah, y'all got a peek of him. Actually, I want to see if the camera will let me show him. Okay, hold on. Come here. Y'all get the husky reveal. Is it gonna work? Oh no. Do y'all see him? Let me see. Hold on. I see him a little bit. Oh, he's not gonna show up. Y'all seen him a tad bit though. Y'all seen him just a tad bit. But make sure you click the link in my bio. Click Nadiie Black's guidance. It'll take you to my YouTube page. You can watch all the class that you missed. And today we're going to post this later on today. Also, when you click the link in the bio, listen to the album Why We Fear. That's y'all homework. It's a very, very beautiful album. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you. We love you. We love you. Peace.